babe.
Come on, I just spent the night in the cave.
I will cut you down.
What is news and what is just noise?
Address you wanted?
Thanks, MJ.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
You heard it up top. It's a very special episode. We've hit another 10, which means we're going to ramble on and on about what we have been getting on and on with. We're going to be talking Whatcha, what we've been watching, what we've been playing, what we've been reading, what we've been doing, what we've been living here on Whatcha 359 with your hosts, Colin.
Mike, just regular Mike.
And this is just Jacob.
That's
Always
right.
blows my mind to just say our names.
Yeah, I like we usually do a good job of making up names. Even when we don't do a good job, it's a good job, I feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a good job. Yep.
This 259, because we have a very special episode planned for 260. So we're doing the Whatcha early once again.
359. 360.
360. You can turn around 360 degrees to get ready for our next episode because it's going to blow your mind.
It's a completely different sphere of influence, one might say.
Right.
But yes, 300, and we're fast approaching having one episode for every day of the year, 365. That's going to be interesting too. But
wow,
when we do these intros, normally this is where we just kind of catch up. But this whole episode's about catching up, essentially.
Yeah.
But I do want to mention on the record that we have had, an unfortunate loss for the pod family. We have our pod pets. We all have our pod pets. We know Cookie, we know Sadie, and I had a pet lizard, Kenny. He sadly passed with us, so I want to dedicate this 259 to Kenny. He was a great pet lizard, 10 years. Good guy.
R.I.P.
He's in the
Kenny.
great pod in the sky. Yeah.
That's right. Rest in power.
Rest
We
in
love you,
power,
Kenny.
King of the lizards. Yeah. So.
King of the lizards.
He was the
And I mean, that's a pretty long life for that kind of lizard, right? That's a good
Yeah,
life.
that's a pretty good run. But we all went bowling, we're going to talk about this, but we went bowling for this fantasy football thing. And they were playing a lot of 2000s music videos. And I happened to take Kenny up to where the ditch from the Josh Brolin classic Thrashin', the skateboarding classic, the finale takes place at this place called Dagger Ditch. It's up in a hiking trail. And I figured he was a radical lizard. He should be somewhere radical where people skateboard. And I took him up there with some of the homies. We had a vigil. We buried him up there in the sun, where you can watch kickflips all day. But when we were at the bowling, they played the Avril Lavigne video, Complicated, which just so happened to be also filmed at that location. Wow. And I thought in that moment, Kenny was looking down on me saying, "You're all right, kid." So there you go. There's your tribute for Dagger Ditch. And
pour one out for Kenny.
For the lizard.
All right.
But yeah.
Yeah, we
He's
should...
been around longer than this podcast had been around. So anyway, but yeah.
That's crazy, yeah.
Rest in power, Kenny.
Yeah,
rest in power. Yeah, I had Sadie up here on the table with me. She jumped down though. She doesn't want to be on camera today.
Camera shy.
But we love our pod pets. Yeah.
I just coined that term today.
But you mentioned we went bowling on Friday. Because this weekend, of course, we had our fantasy football draft, the BFFFFL, our famous, the best friends forever fantasy football league. The 11th season starting this year. I mean, this year is the 11th year that we've done it. So
and that
it's been going longer than the podcast.
Night.
Well,
that's right.
That's right. So we went bowling. Our good friend Cole, who won the league last year, his promise to us that last season that if he won the league, he would pay for a bowling night from his winnings. And he held that promise to be true. And so we had a great time bowling.
Yeah, my brother flew out, and some of that's going to tie into my Whatchas, because me and my brother were doing various things around LA while he was visiting. He flew out from Ohio. He's also in the league. We all went bowling together.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to diving into what we've been up to, because I have been kind of all over the place.
Kind of feel like Cole should pay for me, Joe, and Brian to go bowling, but whatever.
That's right. We had the out-of-towners. They weren't able to join us, so it was the five of us that were here in town in LA. I would love to, 1 year in the future, everyone get together again in the same room. I think we've had at least one person videoing in most years. So it would be crazy to have like everyone in the same room one of these years, maybe when we all are a little more, stable in our lives and everything. So
everybody came to Vegas though, right?
We had one remote,
except
I think,
Brian.
for Vegas.
No
That's
Brian and
right.
no Andy that time because he couldn't make it.
That's
So our
right.
friend Andy. So we've never, and it's like when Colin, you were in LA for a while, but Joe was away. And then before when Joe lived in LA, that was there were some years where Andy was not living in LA. So we've never all been in the same room, it feels like. Except maybe some of the early years when we were a 6-man league without Mike and Mark and some of our newer members.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's all behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's all behind the scenes. We were doing some real life stuff. But yeah, like I said, these are kind of hard intros because I feel like I'm getting into the Whatcha while we're chatting. So maybe we should just jump into it. We'll get into what we've been watching, what we've been doing, what we've been playing, all that good stuff. Maybe right after this.
We're back here on Normies Like Us, where you heard us talking about it, what we're doing, what we're living, Whatcha. We're talking a little bit about our fantasy football draft. Let's continue down that path. So you guys got together. You did some bowling.
That's right.
Who won that bowling?
Well, so we have a couple people here that are or formerly avid bowlers. Maybe don't go as much now, but I'm mostly talking about Mike, our resident bowler here, who used to bowl a lot, right?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a strike seeker, as they call.
Wow.
But I used to bowl maybe about 10 years ago. I used to bowl every week Wednesday. Me and my friend would go for all you can bowl in Alhambra, $9. All you can bowl. We had our own shoes, so $9, 3 hours from 9 to midnight. So we would get a lot of games in. And I'm wearing the shirt that I bowled a 269, my Wu-Tang Clan cutoff.
Whoa.
I bowled the highest score ever in this shirt. Well, now it's the What-Tang Clan for the Whatcha, but yeah.
What-Tang.
But I did win the first game, and I thought I was completely safe. I won by a considerable margin, like a pretty fair margin of 152. And I was like, I got this locked up, and I did not have it locked up going forward.
You literally came in hot because I think you bowled like 2 strikes in a row, like the first 2 frames.
I did. The first 2 frames were strikes.
Yeah. So you won the first game. We played 3 games that night. You won the first one by a large margin. Then Cole came back in game 2 and won game 2. You regressed a little bit. I want to say I came in out of the 5 people in the 3 games. I came in 5th, and 4th. So I was making progress though because I improved my score by 10 every game. So I had an 82 the first game, a 95, and then a 105. And I beat our friend Andy, who had 104 in game 3. So I beat him by 1 point to get 4th place. And I consider that a win.
So if we bowled 15 or 20 games, you would have had a 300 eventually.
That's right. I was going to keep bowling. I'd have a perfect 300. But so Cole won game 2, and then game 3, Cole put up at that point the highest score of the night. But then
it's like a 163.
Mark Romans.
It was a really
165,
nice
I think.
165, yeah.
And then Mark, your brother, came in clutch with a turkey in the 9th and 10th frames and beat him with a 169 and took the lead in game 3.
Highest score of the night.
It was an exciting time. Yeah.
Well, what's fascinating about the football angle of this is, fantasy football angle, is it was between Mark and Cole duking it out. And haven't they been in the finals the last 2 years with Mark winning last year and Cole winning this year? Something like that?
I think, I don't know if Cole was in the finals 2 years ago.
Oh, that's right. But they've both been champions recently.
Last year they were,
regulars.
Of course, this year I will be winning the fantasy football. Noted. And so we did have our draft Sunday, which is our annual draft get together. Always a good time. We got the in-towners meet up in person at someone's house, and then we have the out-of-towners Zoom in via video call. And the big news of the draft day, I think, was the Romans brothers coming through with the Jollibee chicken. Showing up with some Jollibee.
Big story in draft day.
Brought to you by Jollibee.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I'm jealous. I wanted that chicky. It looked good.
You know, not sponsored, but I am a big fan of Jollibee. There's one close to my house, and we're always talking about food and bev, and I normally don't bring anything but bev, and I was like, you know what? We got 5 of us there. If I get a 10-piece bucket, it's close enough that it's not going to add time. Said, let's do it. It'll be good for the boys. Sorry we couldn't get you any, Colin.
Oh, that's fine. It is Chicken Joy though. It's the thing that they serve, Chicken Joy. That's cool.
Yeah, Joy. And I got the spicy Chicken Joy, which is my favorite variety.
Cool.
I was feeling some gravy when I was
great. Yeah.
Oh, I wish.
Cole made his
Yeah.
famous sausage dip, and
Which was
we were
also
having a good
incredible.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, so we got everybody together. We used this. I had to take my webcam, which, YouTube viewers, it's radio remote controlled, so we were able to zoom in on Jacob's
Hey.
little piggies during the draft.
That's the most important thing. Actually, it was Cole's piggies. Yeah.
Right,
Oh,
yeah,
good.
Cole had the dogs
I
out, but we did a tech scout
My
this
socks
year.
stay on until I get the money.
See the
Socks before
commentary.
subs. Yeah.
Yeah. But so, how you guys feeling about the draft this year? What did
Well,
you?
I'm feeling disrupted, and maybe Colin can elaborate on that because I was disrupted.
Yeah, I think isn't that the big story? You're saying the big win was the chicken. Wouldn't you
That's the
argue
second
that the
big story.
big story was that the theme of the draft this year was disruption?
It was disruption.
So I was playing video games with Colin the day before, and I got on. I said, "Who are you drafting in your first round?" He said, "Look, I'm going to do something that's going to change the game forever." And he kept saying that to me. I had no idea what he was talking about. He came in, he changed his picture and his name on the fantasy app to the Disruptor. He said, "Guess what? 1 hour to disruption." And we were all holding
Yeah.
our breath, what that could possibly mean. He came in, he disrupted,
Mhm.
and here he is. He's a game changer.
Mhm.
Colin
really-
Jobs over here.
It was foreboding to hear about the imminent disruption coming, and none of us were prepared for what would ensue, I think, following.
And it happened.
Yeah.
Truly, so I'll say in the first round, I truly was disrupted, specifically by you two, because so a little background here. I had the sixth overall pick. So I was like, okay, who can I take with the sixth pick? Now we have a draft. We have keepers where you can keep one person from last year in the same round that you drafted them. Whatever. So I was like, okay, sixth round, I was doing mock drafts and stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm prioritizing a couple players. My first choice, if he falls to me at the sixth pick, is Lamar Jackson, who I consider the best QB in the league for fantasy purposes. I'm like, I'm going to get Lamar Jackson this year. It's going to be great. Then Colin comes in here with the second pick. Who does he take? Lamar Jackson, disrupted.
Yeah, it's
Disrupted.
not so much who I take, it's who I disrupt. The disruption was Lamar Jackson, of course.
Yes.
Yes.
So already my plan, I'm like, okay, that's fine. I have backups. My second choice, I'm like, okay, surely, this player will fall to me. He's lower in ADP this year, average draft position for you, those normies who don't know. Christian McCaffrey, one of the best running backs in the NFL for the last several years, but famously injury prone. So he either gets injured and ruins your season, or he wins your season because he's the best running back in the NFL. So I thought, you know what? Fine. Sixth pick. Surely he'll fall to me. His ADP is in the second round this year because people are worried about his injury history. So I'm like, okay, I didn't get Lamar Jackson. Let me get Christian McCaffrey. Then Mike comes in here with the fourth pick. And who's he take? Christian McCaffrey. So I'm like, shit. I'm already so disrupted at this point. I'm like, okay, fine. I didn't get my top two choices. I didn't think I was going to get, CeeDee Lamb, some of these other Bijan Robinson. I knew they were going to go higher than my pick. So I'm like, fine. I didn't get Lamar Jackson. Let me get the second best quarterback, Josh Allen. Surely he'll fall to me at the sixth pick. Then we have Mark coming in here with the fifth pick, and who's he take? Josh Allen. So now I'm disrupted AX. I'm
not
so
to correct
disrupted.
you. I believe what Mark's draft pick was. He said, "I'm taking every quarterback," and we were legally bound to that. We had to give him every quarterback.
He went hard on the quarterbacks. He took Josh Allen, then he took Jaden Daniels in the second round. So he went quarterback in the first two rounds. Also later took Patrick Mahomes. Maybe you've heard of him. And he kept Bo Nix as his keeper. So we had 4 startable quarterbacks in a 2-quarterback league, to be fair. It's an 8-person, 2 QB league. So you can start 2 QBs. You can't start 4 QBs. I'll tell you that. It's not a 4 QB.
Can you, in your flex, play a QB?
No.
So
okay.
That's a thing called Superflex, but that's not what we do.
Right.
Okay,
the way we have our format is 2 QB, but most people would consider that just a super flex league because in a super flex you can put anybody in a flex spot. So normally people do QB because they score the most points. So generally super flex is a 2 QB league, but you're not forced to do 2 QB.
Yeah. And the reason we've always been a 2 QB league is because we started as a 6-person league, which is very small amount of teams. Usually leagues are 10 or 12 teams. after a couple years, we went to 8 teams, and we stayed 8 since then, right? So we have 8 people. That's only 8 starting quarterbacks if you go 1 QB. Well, there's more than 8 good quarterbacks in the NFL. So I thought it would be more fun to have 2 starting quarterbacks. So we have at least 16 QBs that are starting every week. I think that makes sense. That's like half the league. Makes total
From
sense.
a participant standpoint, seeing those numbers get as high as they are, when people get to write in the chat, first to 300 or whatever for a fucking week that week, if you took that second QB out, you'd be cutting out 80 of those points, 60 of those points, 40 of those points, at times.
On a good week, yep.
We have inflated point. The way of scoring, it's a little different than your average league, just because we're 8 teams. We have 3 receivers, we have 2 flexes, so it's a little larger team sizes, but I think that makes it more fun and more strategic.
I like to see the huge fucking numbers, dude.
Yeah.
I like to see the big boys.
Yeah.
No, it's a lot of fun with that format. So yeah, and lately we've been pushing quarterbacks up. I think it started kind of when Mark Romans came in. He was like taking first round QBs, and normally this league is pretty running back and wide receiver heavy early. Yep. So Colin really did disrupt and said, nope, Lamar Jackson, number 2. Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah, if you look back at our past years, Mark will always take a QB in the first round. So I knew Lamar and Josh Allen were probably going off the board pretty early. Didn't think Colin would come in here and disrupt the way he did. So I was like, let me get Lamar, Christian McCaffrey, Josh Allen. One of them's got to fall to me at 6.
That would be crazy. Yeah.
None of them did. Yeah. So
no, I had to disrupt you with Christian. Yeah, because everybody was keeping running backs. So when I was up, I'm like, well, Christian McCaffrey, I guess he's here. Second round ADP, sure, but nobody else is taking running backs because they kept theirs. I got to grab him while I can, and then that disrupted you.
No, that's a fair thing. I just thought he would fall a little because his ADP was lower this year, but I think it's a good pick. It's a risky pick. You're basically flipping a coin whether he gets injured or has a great season. So,
but that's any player technically.
Yeah,
he's more
and the fact that I was even willing to take him, because last year I had the first overall pick, and I did take Christian McCaffrey. And that year was terrible because he did get injured, was out most of the season, and was a terrible first round pick that year.
Jacob,
but
did you know that saying, Jacob, that every time a McCaffrey is born, the gods flip a coin on whether or not they'll fuck their siblings or they'll be great at sports?
One or the other.
That's right. Or they'll get injured. So I ended up with, and I was okay with my contingency pick, Derrick Henry. Another great running back, a little bit older, a little bit less pass catching for PPR purposes, but still a very strong quarterback for the Ravens, which I think is a great offense. So I was ultimately pretty happy, and I was pretty happy with my team overall. How did you guys feel about your teams?
Man, I said it every time my pick came around. I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I was pretty much disrupted the entire way through. I feel like that's you every year, though. Yeah, I really don't. I did the least prep, but I'm very wide receiver heavy, thin at running back. But I think, I don't know, overall I like where I'm at. I kept Brock Bowers, so I have the best tight end. Don't have to think about that. I got that kicker that kicked a 70-yard field goal for Jacksonville in the preseason, so kicking is locked down. We'll see how it goes. Maybe make some trades. I guess I'm zen. I'm like, I've reached nirvana. Win or don't, I'm a leaf in the wind. How about you guys?
You take players that you like. You like the Browns, you like the Brackers, the Packers.
I reached on
you got
Jordan Love for sure.
You got Baker Mayfield. You got your QBs. You got your guys. That's what.
And it makes
our friend
watching
Joe
the
does
games
the same
more
thing.
fun. Those are my guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Former host Joe, he tends to take the guys that he likes. He's a New York Giants fan. He's got Malik Neighbors as his keeper. He's got Russell Wilson off the board. He's got Joe Flacco, the old men in the room.
It's like putting money on the people you want to watch too. It's like it gives you a little extra juice. You want to get those fantasy points on the people you love.
Like Cedric Tillman, like I want him to do well on the Browns. It gives me something to watch out for when I'm watching the games. Yeah,
that's right.
How about you guys?
No, I like my team. I try to look at it in a logical way. As an aspiring Vulcan, I of course always ask myself, what would Spock do? And I try to leave emotional attachment out of it. It doesn't always work because I do try to go for players that I like as well. But
Spock is half human, Jacob. There's some emotion.
That's right. There. He's got to suppress his human half because it's bad. No, but I'm in it to win it. So I try to put the best team together that I can, and I try to be ruthlessly logical. I do take favorites sometimes. I take Nick Chubb in years prior because I want him on my team. Mm-hmm. But this year I was like, let me let go of all attachments and just try to take objectively the best team that I can, best player available. And so that's what I did. I waited on QBs a little bit. I ended up with, Dak Prescott and Kyler Murray, decent QBs, but not the top 5 guys that I wanted, like a Lamar or a Josh Allen or a Joe Burrow even. But that's okay. I think I got some other stud receivers and running backs in the first couple of rounds, and I felt good about it.
All right. And Colin, how about you, the disruptor himself?
So my grade was a D-. The dumb app gave me a bad grade, which I'm like, whatever. I feel like I know all the people that I got. There's only a couple people that I kind of like feel like I was pulling names out of a hat. Usually it's a lot more. So I don't know. I feel good about it this year.
And if you get an A grade from Yahoo, that probably means you're going to do poorly during the season. So I got like a C. So yeah, I figure a bad grade probably indicates a better outcome. That's
I got a B.
Take.
Colin, I think your draft was okay. I think you took a couple players a little earlier than I would have. Travis Kelce off the board when you had some, let's say, younger tight ends like Trey McBride, George Kittle, some other guys that I would have taken before Travis Kelce, who's 36 and near the end of his career and has been declining. But he's a big name. So, and you've had him before, Travis Kelce. You love Kelce and Taylor, right? You're
buying into the power of Taylor, right?
That's
really
right.
I drafted her. I mean, that's the truth of the matter.
Well, when you draft Kelce with Taylor, you get a point every time they cut to her on the broadcast added to Kelsey's score. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's really a benefit.
If they play any of her music at a commercial break, I win. That's like catching the snitch.
Yeah. It's a guaranteed victory.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good draft. It was fun. We had the Jollibee, the dip. We'll see how it goes. I got my guys. I got some players I haven't had before. And, I don't know. We'll see how the season goes. But I'm excited for another one to kick off. Ooh, nice. That's a football word.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I do plan on winning again, of course. We've got Colin the Disruptor. And Colin's always been the wild card of our league.
Mm-hmm.
And that's his role, and I like it.
You can't go in with a plan ever. Yeah.
No, you can't. It's too early, Jacob, right? Do you have a bet on like who's going to play the Super Bowl, like the halftime show or anything? Or who the teams will be?
Oh, that's a fucking interesting pick.
I know my pick for who the teams will be, I'm calling it, and I told Mike this yesterday. I think it's Baltimore Ravens over the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going all birds teams.
All birds.
Yeah.
Mike,
Super Bowl's for the birds.
Yeah, the Bird Bowl.
Look, it's the Ravens' year. They're not my favorite team. They're my team's rival. But I just think they've got the strongest team. They've got, a good defense, a good offense. They've got Lamar. They've got a great, they got Derrick Henry. So they've got the weapons on offense. And I think they're going to go all the way this year. Every year they have a good year and then they choke in the playoffs. And I think this is the year they get over the hill. They beat the Bills. They beat the Chiefs. They get to the Super Bowl. And they beat the Philadelphia Eagles, who will return to the Super Bowl after winning last year, but ultimately fall short to the Ravens because the Super Bowl is for the birds.
Wow. Okay,
That's my pitch.
I see the vision. I don't like wanting my rivals win, but also like the team going to the Super Bowl again, like Philadelphia getting back. This will be their third year, right? If they go back.
Philadelphia, no, this will be their second year.
Well, they were in the Super Bowl didn't they lose one, then they finally won it, or am I wrong?
No, they've won. They were in a couple years ago and they won. When Carson Wentz was there, but 2 years ago was Niners against the Chiefs, and the Chiefs won. Chiefs have been in a couple years, but last year they fell short to the Eagles. Yeah.
Who was it before that?
So it was Niners, Chiefs. Then the year before that, I don't even remember. It was someone.
You
Chiefs.
don't remember?
Oh well, a couple years ago it was the Bengals, Rams, right?
Oh, that's right. That's who it was.
Dang.
And who won that game?
Rams.
Oh, I can't remember actually.
Los Angeles Rams, baby.
Boo.
We love LA.
But I could see that being logical if I was taking just teams that I like. I want Josh Allen to win one. Shout out to Haley Steinfeld, Sinners, my movie of the year. I want Josh Allen to succeed, so I would hope the Bills get a crack at it. But I could see your
Bills.
guess.
Are you guys doing? Aren't they the Hard Knocks team this year? Are you guys doing that?
Bills. I have not
Bills?
watched it. I'm kind of out on Hard Knocks. Over the years, I've seen they've been on forever, and I watch them a lot. But recently, it's just like it's too repetitive. It's the same thing every year. They've all become too safe. They used to show things like they used to show the actually cutting people and stuff like that in real drama, and now it's just everything's safe, and it's like we don't want to show anything that'll give it, away anything behind the scenes. It's
a curse. They also don't like it. Like the people involved in it fucking hate it. So it's impossible for these people to sell it. And so then, they have to be like, we won't ask any hard questions. We won't shoot anything that makes you look bad. And it's like, well, okay.
It's just become too formulaic. And the Bills, I mean, what's really that interesting about the Bills? Like, I want to see a team that's like dysfunctional behind the scenes, right?
I want to see Haley Steinfeld show up to the fucking stadium with a bunch of bags and go, "Where's my hubby?" and run over and give him a big squeeze. What are you talking about?
I do want to see it.
Last year they had this off-season one with the New York Giants where they showed like a lot of the GM decisions in the off-season, and there was a lot of like really embarrassing things for the Giants where they let Barkley go, Saquon Barkley, and all this stuff. And that got shared a lot online. And that's like the most interesting Hard Knocks has been in like the last few years. And now, but every team is afraid because it made the Giants look bad because they were kind of incompetently run. And then it's like, well, we don't want to expose too much about how we're running things behind the scenes.
I disagree. I think the Birds exposing how dumb fucking Aaron Rodgers is. I think that was one of the best seasons ever, just watching this fucking moron.
Yeah. I don't know, but the Bills, they're a good team. Like what's the drama behind the scenes with the Bills? There's nothing. It's just, Josh Allen is good.
Yeah, business as usual.
Right.
Yeah. You need.
But I mean, Bills are a popular pick for the AFC. I mean, it's top 3 teams in the AFC. It's pretty easy. It's the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens. I think it's the Ravens' year. Maybe it is the Bills' year. And the Ravens and the Bills, they've been, the Chiefs have juggernauted their way in the last couple of years. The Bills and the Ravens look good on paper, and then they fall short every year in the playoffs. And maybe it's one of those 2 teams a year this time. I think Chiefs, Bills, AFC would be great because that's, Haley Steinfeld versus Taylor Swift, right? That's what we're all watching for.
Can't pick some too.
Yeah.
I think Taylor does the halftime show this year. I think it gets announced around a time when Kansas City is still on track and looking good. And then Jacob, I think it's exactly that game you said. And I think they keep going, baby. I think people this year are going to be like, it is fucking scripted. Like, this is like not fair bullshit. Like, the fans will lose their minds this year.
But that's been Josh Allen's curse too, is every year they get to like the AFC Championship and then they fight the Chiefs and then they lose to the Chiefs in there's some kind of dumb play that they make, like where the tight end drops an easy catch and then it's like, oh, they were this close.
No, I think Colin's onto something though. There's going to be Taylor playing halftime. The Chiefs will go. The Chiefs will win, and then a priest will come out and officially marry them on the field.
I'm not even kidding. Like,
that's
not
if
only
the NFL was scripted.
Like, they will get engaged at some sort of game beforehand. Then the announcement for the halftime show will happen. Then the wedding will like spontaneously occur. Like, I guarantee it. Yeah. And it will turn into the highest rated event in TV history.
I don't know if people would like that. No, but I mean, my conspiracy theory was that I would believe is true if I was told it was true. So last year, Eagles, Chiefs show up, going for the three-peat, the juggernaut of the last couple of years, Patrick Mahomes, of course. They show up, they get their shit rocked by the Philadelphia Eagles in an embarrassing fashion. Like, that game was not close at all.
No.
And it's like, oh shit, like the Chiefs, like just getting killed.
Didn't show up.
And then, and my theory is that Travis Kelce was going to propose after the game if they won. Like, he would, in his speech after the game, he'd get down on one knee. It would be great TV. But then they didn't win, so he couldn't do that, of course. And I think he was going to propose and then retire. And that was going to be his swan song. And he's like, "Oh shit, I got to come back for another year because we blew it in the Super Bowl.
Now I got to win it just so I can propose." Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but I'd much rather see the Bills or the Ravens.
How much I liked watching that game. It was so much fun watching them lose, dude. It was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's out on the Chiefs. I was out on the Eagles. I don't like the Eagles. I don't like their fan base. I don't like these.
I love a greasy
Philly,
pole. Come on.
I love shit eaters.
Philly assholes. I don't like them. No offense to
Right.
the city of
Eat
Philadelphia,
that horse
but
shit.
I don't like the tush push. I don't like Saquon. I think they're a bunch of cake eating front runners.
You don't like
If you think it's
Saquon?
so good, you tush push on me right now, Jacob. You prove that it's unbeatable right
and
now.
the tush
Do it.
push. No, I'd much rather see the Ravens or the Bills in the AFC. More interesting teams than the Chiefs. Even though the Ravens divisionally they're my rivals, I think they're a really fun team to watch. They're just so exciting with Lamar and Derrick Henry. What a great combo they are.
I want them both to win a Super Bowl. Yeah, like they should have one in their career. I like both those players a lot. Yeah, they could earn it.
Then of course you got Colin's team, the dark horse Cincinnati Bengals, who have a great offense but a terrible defense, and that's kind of what they've been known for the last couple of years. Where they have super flashy Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, the trio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Incredible weapons for one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and then their defense is out there just blowing it game after game. Burrow's got to put up like 50 points a game just to get a win. And they miss out on the playoffs last year entirely, even though Burrow had a season that statistically was up there with Josh Allen, the MVP, and Lamar Jackson, the runner-up for MVP. And it's like they're both playoff teams, and then you have the Bengals struggling because half their team is the defense, and they just, every game is just a foot race because they're just scoring so many points just to stay in it. So how do you feel about that, Colin?
I don't like any of that. It's a real bummer what you just said.
I'm sorry.
It makes the Bengals really good for fantasy. Generally, you want a bad defense with a good offense. That's the team you want. Like a good offense that has a bad defense. So you'll get a lot of points, but it's not going to maybe win a Super Bowl. But,
That's right. But that's probably enough sports ball talk up front. We're turning off all our listeners that don't care about the old sporto talk. I'm a bit of a sporto myself, though.
A sportsman. Yeah, let's talk about some fiction.
No, not really.
Or thereafter some
let's
type of media. Yeah.
Let's take a break and then come back with what we've been watching.
I like it.
We're back here on Normies Like Us. We're talking a little football talk, talking a little sports, but now we're going to be talking what else we're watching on those little boxes called TVs, what we're streaming, what we're enjoying, maybe what we're going to the movie theaters for.
Yeah. A little bit of variety pack. I'm sure we're going to mention some stuff in here that's kind of in season that we're going to do full episodes on.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of good series running right now or returning, things like that. So TV's in a good spot right now. Actually, I have a lot of shows that I'm excited about.
You know what? I feel the same way. Yeah, for the first time ever. I rarely have ongoing shows these days, but now I sit down and I'm like, ooh, which one will I watch?
Yeah. I'm spoiled for choice.
Yeah, it's a lot of ongoing that I'm watching as well. So stuff I got to catch up on. But yeah, for the next month or so, we will be doing some future shows. Should I mention them now or
I think we can mention them, but yeah, they're kind of ongoing. I think we're all watching them as we go.
We're all watching, to talk about too. So we've got, of course, Star Trek Strange New Worlds back for its third season. We're in the middle of that. We're in the thick of it. We got Twisted Metal over on the Peacock.
Hit.
On the cock.
Really punched above its weight with season one. We really like season one.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that being back.
So that'll be a future episode. And then we've got Alien Earth on Hulu. Right. That'll be an episode too. We love Alien, of course.
Yep.
Mike, #1 Alien Romulus fan in the world, probably.
In the world.
Hopefully he's liking Alien Earth. I won't get his thoughts now. I'm going to wait for the episode. And then another show that just started with its first episode, which I've watched, Peacemaker.
All right.
Season 2, James Gunn back again in the DCU. We got Peacemaker Season 2.
So we have done full episodes on every one of those properties already, though, right? That's interesting. We're returning
Alien Earth,
to all of
first
these.
season.
But we've done 5 episodes on Alien. Yeah.
We talked a lot about Alien.
Yeah, you guys are watching all those shows or planning to watch one?
I haven't started Alien Earth yet. I haven't started Peacemaker yet. Twisted Metal, I'm the deepest into. And Star Trek, I was a little behind on, but now I just haven't seen the most recent one, I believe.
Okay.
I'm a week behind on Strange New Worlds because my brother was in town and he's not really a Star Trek guy. I haven't seen the new Peacemaker season 1, but my brother had never seen, or season 2, but my brother had never saw Peacemaker season 1. So he had a flight really early, like at 4 a.m. So we just stayed up all night so he could go to the airport. And we ended up just watching all of Peacemaker season 1 again. And I was like, I'm glad I'm rewatching this. This is actually a great show. I love Vigilante. I love all my guys, Adebayo.
I love Peacemaker.
So I'm looking forward to seeing season 2, which I haven't started.
That's
yet.
funny. When my family came and visited me in LA like 2023, like 2 years ago, and I actually introduced my brother and sister to Peacemaker because we had nothing to do for a couple hours. I was like, let's throw on Peacemaker. They hadn't seen it, and they both got into it too. Yeah, it's a fun show.
Wow.
I'm kind of the opposite of you, Colin. I'm caught up on Alien Earth. There's 3 episodes out.
Oh, wow.
I watched the first episode of Peacemaker, so I'm caught up on that. Caught up on Strange New Worlds. Watched the most recent episode last night. Twisted Metal is the one that I'm struggling to get into this season, and I've only seen 2 episodes, and I'm just like, it's almost like become a chore for me. It's like I got to catch up on Twisted Metal for the episode, and I don't know. I don't want to hate on it because
don't rush it.
People I like are in it, but it's just not holding my attention the way I would like it to so far. But I need to catch up on it.
I'm almost caught up on it, and I've been enjoying it for the most part. And I like we're finally getting to what the game is, which is the tournament. So
right,
building to that premise is kind of what we're waiting for with this season.
Right. I just think maybe it's the first couple episodes, maybe it gets better, but it just seems kind of slow getting into it. It's like they haven't even gotten to the tournament from when I'm watching it. They like driving to the tournament. It's like,
oh, buddy,
I just don't care, man.
No, it stays slow.
That's great. That's great.
You're ready.
Yeah, we'll put it into high gear eventually, maybe. But yeah, we'll talk about that more in depth. But hopefully, you can get through it.
I will say, Strange New Worlds. Maybe we don't want to talk too much about it because we're going to dedicate a full episode to it. But I've been really enjoying this season so far. A lot of strong episodes, some less strong.
There's
and
a couple.
Last week's Yeah, the most recent one I didn't like as much. It's you guys both said you haven't seen it yet, but it's sort of a documentary. There's this character that's Erica Ortegas' brother, who's like a documentary filmmaker. That's like an ongoing storyline this season. That he's like filming behind the scenes Starfleet stuff, and this whole episode is shot like a documentary.
Oh,
it's interesting. I wasn't a huge fan of this episode. It just kind of feels a little gimmicky to me.
But that is this whole, and again, we will get into this more, but that is this whole new trek to me, is that I find all the episodes to be very strong because it really seems like they just come in with what is the gimmick of this episode? And now, of course, they've talked about how the musical one was such a success for them that they want to do I think I saw like a silent episode or something too, which is
we're getting a Muppet episode, right?
Yeah, Muppet.
Yeah, there's a Muppet episode next season.
Yeah.
And that's always been, of course, they've always had gimmicks. They've had these old scientists, the crossover with Lower Decks episode.
Yeah.
They've been very gimmicky, and sometimes I like the gimmick, sometimes I don't like it as much. But there have been some strong episodes and some really, I like that it's sticking with the core like sci-fi stuff and not getting. There's moments where it feels like it's getting too relationship-y or too like. A big thing this season is like they're shipping Spock with like different characters in a really weird way that I'm like,
trying.
I just please don't do this too much. But it's some episodes where I'm worried that it's going to get too into it, and then it doesn't and sticks to just some good old Star Trek stuff. I'm like, this is what I like. Yeah.
Sometimes I think that almost in the way that we bullied a corporation to release Dr. Michael Morbius twice. That sometimes I just really think corporations are like, yo, I saw this meme about how sexy Spock is. Don't you guys realize that our core audience wants to fuck Spock and most of the episodes should be about how sexy he is? It's like, I don't think you understand humor.
Right. And of course, Spock is, he's played by an attractive actor. It's the Spock who lifts. He's very ripped. He does
push-ups.
Yeah. But we don't need whole episodes. I don't know. I don't want whole episodes that are dedicated to this like love triangle that they've got now of Spock and Nurse Chapel and La'an. And it's like, what are we doing here? Like, is this Star Trek or is this, what? But it's fine. It's fine a little bit, but I just don't want to get too into that,
My favorite Star Trek stories in any of the series, we did our draft recently too, where we were picking our guys, but and gals and aliens and other. But the best stories are never the romance-centered arcs. It is the sci-fi. Right. That's what I prefer. The sci-fi, the moral dilemma. So
the worst episodes of TNG are like Riker is in love with some alien. It's going to be a Riker in love with an alien episode. Oh, that's a skip for me.
Riker's one night stands. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. A little bit of that is fine. And there's one episode where they go on an archaeological dig that I really like this season, where it's like the setup is like, there's this whole love square where it's like Nurse Chapel with this archaeologist, and then La'an and Spock are a thing now, and they're all thrown into this cave together. And I'm like, I was just so worried that it's going to be this whole relationship thing, and then it's not really that at all. And I'm like, whew, like they actually are sticking to the sci-fi, which I like.
Yeah, again, we're big fans of the show. They do have very strong themed episodes. They kind of double down on that, like Colin said. But I'm excited to really dive in, finish this season. We get the follow-up to that Gorn cliffhanger, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, when we do the season proper. Right. And that's the one where we all had a Star Trek dinner, and I always have fond memories of that.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Bernadette Croft, who gets billing right on the title screen as the costume designer. She's the one who told me where to get Pike's apron. Shout out Bernadette.
That's right. That's Strange New Worlds. I'm excited to talk about that in a couple weeks as the season ends. Yeah. What else? Well, I want to ask you guys about what else we've been watching.
That's been in the news. They're doing a lot of making fun of the Trump administration, and
right,
they're back. They got their $1 billion bag. Have you guys been watching any of those episodes? I think
I was in the rare position of traveling when that first episode aired, and there was all that commercials, which they've now revealed none of the season is in that. It was all like a gimmick commercial, but all the talk about will it be parroting. We didn't know that it was going to be so scathing of the current political administration in America. And then I was in a hotel room, just happened to have live cable, threw it on, and then was live texting you guys like, I cannot believe what I'm seeing. There's Trump's penis is on screen. It's singing, like this is insane.
Yeah. Matt and Trey back at it again.
Right. For me, I'll just say, maybe I've mentioned before on the podcast, I'm not a South Park fan. I don't watch it. I've never watched it. I'm familiar with certain episodes and things. But I'm pretty much a complete normie when it comes to South Park. I just don't. It's never been my thing. Not really my sense of humor, I guess. But
you won't
I've
let
seen the
Mike
clips,
and I do an episode of it. You keep saying
we've never done one.
Yeah, you're the man.
Never done one.
Us. So every once in a while, Mike and I say, "Well, Jacob, can we pitch an episode?" You say, "What? What's this? South Park? I don't think so."
Too scandalous for me. No, I've just never. It's never been my thing, really. Of course, I'm familiar with clips in certain episodes, of course, and I've seen the Trump clips and all that stuff, and I do think it's funny. But I've never been a hardcore South Park guy. It would have to be like our Andor episodes. We have to get Adam.
Force feed.
I don't know if he's a South Park guy. Yeah. Say, Adam, come be on the episode because we can't have me on.
Right.
It's my Andor. Yeah.
All right, that's fair. I mean, I like South Park.
Not to bring down the, I think those guys are talented, but yeah.
Sometimes you just don't want to eat that sandwich. It's a good sandwich, but maybe it's not for you.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I like them a lot more once they did become more political. When they first came out, it was just a lot of like shock humor and like, oh, these kids are swearing and it's kind of that. Once they did,
but they've always had, but they've had political episodes going back to like Man, Bear, Pig and that kind of stuff. And to me, that's part of it too, is I don't always agree with them politically. They're more sort of like, they're libertarians, right? They're anti-establishment libertarians. So they, they'll make fun of Democrats. They'll make fun of the right. It seems like they used to make fun of Democrats more, and now it's shifted to like making fun of Trump and stuff, which I understand, like culturally, that's where people are at. I think part of it for me too is I was never allowed to watch it as a kid. It was like forbidden in my household. It was too raunchy. My mom was like, no South Park for you. I was barely allowed to watch The Simpsons when I was a kid. So South Park was a hard no. Yeah.
What was your? This is a good jumping on point because I actually wanted to use this entry point. So something I'm watching right now, one of my new entries here is the King of the Hill revival.
Right.
Okay. Season 14. We're getting a season of King of the Hill as if it never went off the air, 20 years ago or whatever, right?
But the characters have aged. So Colin, I've seen a little bit of this, and I went through a phase a while back before I started watching my show that I'm going to talk about in a little bit, Young Justice, and binging that, where I went through a phase where I was watching random episodes of King of the Hill on Hulu, and I would just throw on random episodes, mostly from the first couple seasons, like the first 5 seasons that I like the most. Like it gets kind of lower in quality, I think, in the later seasons, as most animated long-running shows like that do. So I've seen a little bit of the revival, and I like it so far. I like that they age the characters up in the sort of natural way, and it asks like, what would these characters be like today in present day? And I think they do a good job. And I think the writing's always been a strong point of King of the Hill. What do you think?
Well, I want to have a question before. Yeah, like how many episodes are there? Because I was really intrigued by this when it was announced, but I just missed the announcement of when it's dropping, how many episodes. So I'm excited to jump into this. So
it's all out now. Yeah, it's all on Hulu.
Yeah, it's a Hulu original, which you hate to see. It's 8 episodes. It's incredibly bingeable. I think it survives a lot of the pitfalls people were worried about, that the entire thing would be, well, back in my day, 20 years ago. No, like you said, the writing, Mike Judge, shout out, the voice of Kenny in the South Park movie, is such an incredible writer. I've always liked his work, Office Space, everything he's done, that the episodes feel like you never missed a beat. So it's a high.
I agree with that
for me.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it so far. I need to get a little more into it. I've seen a couple episodes. What I like about it, and what I've always liked about King of the Hill, they don't let their characters, they could so easily fall into like stereotypes and become Flanderized in a way where it's like, Hank Hill's like the conservative Texas guy, right? And he is, but he's more nuanced than that. Like and they could have brought him back and had him be like a MAGA guy or something, but that's not really who Hank Hill is. That doesn't fit his character. They had an episode back in the day where he changes his opinion on George Bush because he has a weak handshake. Remember that?
Yeah.
So
that's right.
To think that Hank Hill would ever respect or like Trump, it's just not what he stands for.
He does say to his wife in this season, though, that they lie to a black neighbor that they voted for Obama. And you're like, oh, Hank.
Oh,
yeah. I just think there's more nuance there.
Well, here's what's interesting about him. Every cartoon husband is a moron. Stan Smith is a moron. Peter Griffin's a moron. Homer Simpson's a moron.
Most sitcom husbands are morons.
Beyond animated. You're absolutely right, Mike. Every sitcom. But Hank Hill is sheltered and stunted. Like, he is a person with very small views of propane's great because it's clean burning. And, all these sort of like, well, I don't, why would you talk about sex outside? But it's not like he's ever like, duh, I can't, put 2 and 2 together, Lois. Like, no, he just has his viewpoint and sticks to it. And the comedy comes from the clash of, well, what if, the world creeps into that small little view that he has, which makes for great episodes.
There's a joke in the first episode that I think encapsulates that really well, where it's like, what would Hank Hill think of some new things in the year 2025? And it's like they take an Uber, right? And then the Uber driver's like, okay, 5 stars, right? When he drops them off, he's like, I'll give you 4 stars so you have something to work towards. And that's such like Hank Hill humor that it's like, that fits him perfectly in the year 2025.
He'll never be perfect. But here's what I wanted to ask, because this is why we transitioned to this. This was a show that I watched with my dad. And we did not have a lot of, for our generation, sit down and watch TV shows. So Jacob, when you said, my parents, I wasn't allowed to watch South Park. I wasn't allowed to watch Simpsons. Neither was I, honestly, to start, but we did kind of get to that point. Did you guys have shows you watched with your parents, though? Like, did you have like a TV night thing you sat down and tuned in for as a family?
I would say not when I was a younger kid. only maybe when I was a little bit older, we would watch some shows. My parents, they don't really like animated shows. They were never into The Simpsons. I'm like, you don't get it. Simpsons is like classic comedy. Like it's some of the best written comedy ever. They're like, we don't like cartoons. That's kind of their view of things. Yeah. So, but we would watch certain sitcoms and things. My mom really likes The Big Bang Theory, so we would watch that. Not a show that I particularly like, but that's kind of, we would watch The Office. We would watch Arrested Development together. Arrested Development was one we could really kind of bond over because I liked Arrested Development a lot, and then they kind of got the humor of it a little more. But their taste ran a little more normie, like The Big Bang Theory. Not to take anything away from that, nothing wrong with it, I guess, but not my thing. Yeah,
it entertains millions and millions of Americans, brings a bright spot into their living rooms every week. It's perfectly valid. We had the Dinosaurs TV show. That was a weekly that we would do. I remember having like, you gotta do your bath time because Dinosaurs is coming on. You don't want to miss it. And we would like,
I'm so happy
always
for
get
you,
ready
Mike.
for it.
Great.
And then my mom likes police procedural stuff. So CSI at one point was one, and then
Lost
was a big one.
Oh, Lost. I was gonna say Law and Order SVU. My whole family is huge fans of Law and Order SVU for some reason. That's one we would watch. So I would just be seeing like, the worst sex crimes you could,
Right.
see on TV with my parents. And that was always a fun time and not awkward at all.
Memories.
I told you guys the story of my family. We all sat down together to watch The Lost pilot. Like it was a huge deal. For some reason, we made that appointment viewing. But you know what's huge for my siblings? New Girl.
New Girl.
My
The
sister,
Zooey Deschanel show. Yeah.
I like that show.
my sister's favorite show, Colin, is New Girl.
Did I watch New Girl?
She got me into it, and I
it's
actually
fun.
do like New Girl. I think New Girl's a lot of fun.
I like Dirty Spider-Man. He makes me laugh.
Yeah, he's great in it.
I'll tell you this, New Girl, and I got into it through my sister, who it's her show that she watches on repeat over and over. Like she finishes the show and starts it over from the beginning. Like it's her kind of comfort show in that way.
Yeah.
She got me into it. I like it a lot. And what I tell you what I like about it is just really every character that's not New Girl. And nothing wrong with Zooey Deschanel. I like her.
Right.
But I like the guys more in that show. Like they all, just the friend group in general, they have a very funny dynamic. Jake Johnson, like you said.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Does M. Ward from She and Him ever make an appearance on the show, Jacob?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
That was just such a big period of my life. Her being married to Ben Gibbard from Death Cab and Postal Service was like, you don't understand what that meant to teenage me. Like that was like
big,
the king and queen for me.
She was kind of the queen of like alt indie music scene in that day.
In movies,
yeah. I mean, of course, 500 Days of Summer, the Manic Pixie Dream Girl. But she went from Ben Gibbard to a property brother. And so now she's with a property brother.
Oh, that is upsetting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She's with one of those twins, really.
Yeah.
The astute one or the rugged one?
I don't know. I don't know the difference. I don't know their names. I just know that she, her and Ben Gibbard divorced in the mid 2010s, and she got married to a property brother. And that was all during the New Girl era. So that's what she's doing now. But I do. New Girl is a very fun show. It's a lot to me. It reminds me a lot of How I Met Your Mother. It's a group of friends in their late 20s to 30s, hanging out, going through life together, and that's a classic staple of course. Of Friends, Seinfeld.
I'm sorry. You said it's a group of what hanging out together?
Friends.
Yeah. Friends. Interesting. Okay.
And so, a staple of the sitcom genre, I guess you could say, but it's a fun dynamic, and really, the character, Jake Johnson's character, is my favorite in that show, and a character that I identify a lot with, just in the way his outlook on life, and he's kind of the character that like he doesn't have a bank account and all this stuff. Like he can barely function as an adult, and sometimes I feel like that.
Yeah. No, I think you'd probably enjoy it. I told there's a bar in Koreatown called Prince. It's Art Deco 1920s. It's where the bar for the show is set. Like they film all the bar scenes. Cool. They work at a bar kind of thing.
Yeah, it's set in LA.
there. Yeah, it's set in LA, very LA show.
Oh, it is an
I
LA
always-
show too. Huh.
It's an LA. It's LA. How I Met Your Mother. It is How I
Yeah.
Met Your Mother is to New York what New Girl is to LA. And
Interesting.
I always thought their apartment, which is like this big loft apartment in LA, was so nice. I'm like, damn, their rent must be so expensive.
Impossible to
Yeah,
have, yeah.
especially
Yeah.
now.
Oh
For
yeah,
real.
like they live in like downtown LA, but it's the whole joke on the show is like it's a really rundown building and stuff, but it's also like you don't understand that rent would be insane in today's prices. Like there's no way they're affording that on their various jobs. But
Well, that's been a thing
you know.
since Friends. It's like, how are they affording these apartments in New York? But that's
Right.
TV for you.
Yeah, shout out New Girl, Colin.
Wow, they got an unexpected backdoor, like big up New Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. I checked it out on a recommendation of my sister, who it's like literally her favorite.
It's
show.
my
Family
stepsister's
shows.
favorite show. So
Yeah.
I might check it out.
I like the theme song. Yeah.
So yeah, what else are we watching? So King of the Hill. Any more thoughts on that, Colin?
It was great. You burn through it easy. I mean, it's so comfortable.
I'm really looking forward
The
to it.
animation style is a little updated. Basically, I saw like in interviews and stuff, they're like, we can't really animate it the way we used to because it doesn't exist anymore. Like that's not how animation is made anymore. So it looks a little cleaner, a little more digitized. The voices are different. Obviously, it's been 20 years. The Dale Gribble voice actor sadly passed away while they were filming it. So like a couple episodes is him, and then a couple episodes is a different actor. And even when it's him, he doesn't sound good because he's sick, and so it's kind of sad.
Johnny Hardwick, shout out. But then it becomes Toby Huss, who was the former Khan Sufanusen phone actor, and who we of course just saw as the police chief in Weapons. Instead, does Dale, not a Laotian character played by a white guy. So probably a good idea.
Yeah, and I know some like John Redcorn.
Yeah.
Who that actor also died, but after the recording of all that season, so it's him doing the voice, but he did sadly pass away right after that in a weird incident where he was like shot by his neighbor. Very strange, but
yeah.
So it's been a while, but I mean, even Bobby Hill, one of my favorite characters I ever. Another character that could be easily stereotyped but isn't. He feels like a three-dimensional, nuanced character.
Yeah,
he's now running a Japanese German fusion restaurant because he just loved cooking and stuff towards the end of that show. And he loves food, and it feels like a natural progression of his character, who's now like in his early 20s. Yeah, so good show.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to checking that out. That's one I'm glad I can just binge through it.
Yeah. Well, I can keep it on animation here.
Yeah.
And so I was watching Random King of the Hills, and then I was like, you know what? Been watching Superman. I've been, I'm the DC kid, obviously. We all know that.
Got that bug again.
I spent, last summer I spent watching all the DC animated films and everything. And I wanted to get back into a DC show, and I thought, maybe I could do Batman animated series, a classic, Batman Beyond, all these great shows from my childhood. Or I can watch one of my favorite DC things ever made, and that is Young Justice.
Nice.
Young Justice, yeah. Which, Colin, you've seen, of course. Mike, you're not too familiar with. Is that correct?
I'm not the DC kid, no. What's
Not
the
the
premise
DC
of
kid.
Young Justice? It's a younger Justice League? Is that
That's
am I
right.
wrong?
Sort of, yeah.
Nailed
It's so there's the Teen Titans, right? It's similar to Teen Titans, where it's and this is a show that there's 4 seasons now. It originally had a 2-season run starting in 2011, I want to say. It had a 2-season run. It's an animated show, and basically the idea behind it was the sidekicks of various Justice League members forming their own team, which is sort of a covert ops team of the Justice League. So they're like the Teen Titans, but they're not called the Teen Titans. And it's, it's Robin, it's Kid Flash, it's Superboy, it's Aqualad, and it's Miss Martian.
Miss Martian.
The original, that was sort of the original group, and then it expands a lot. And really the show goes from being about just those characters to becoming, it shouldn't even be called Young Justice at a certain point. It should just be called DC Universe, because it's so about just the entire universe of this DC world. And so they expand the cast a lot. So it ran for 2 seasons originally, got canceled mainly due to low toy sales numbers. This show just couldn't sell toys. And they're like, well, if it can't sell toys, what's the point of it being on, you know?
It has an art style that isn't powerhouse animation, but is very reminiscent of it. Sort of a, you know, realistic, proportioned American anime look with a lot of violence and action packed. And honestly, the creative people were like, but like we can't do Happy Meal tie-ins with this. It's like what are you trying to do? And Mike, also fun to point out, created by Greg Weisman, creator of Gargoyles, one of our favorite shows.
Love Gargoyles.
It's got great writing. It's aimed at a little older audience. It's a little more mature in its themes. It's about real world stuff. It's about people die in this world. Sometimes they don't come back. Sometimes they do come back because it's comic book stuff. But a lot of times people just die. And that's a reality of the world. So it's dealing with serious themes. It's a little more mature than like your Teen Titans and things like that. And it starts with these original interesting characters like Superboy, who is a clone of Superman combined with Lex Luthor's DNA. So he's half human, half Kryptonian, grown in a lab by the bad guys. No, he's grown by the bad guys in a lab to be used as a weapon against Superman, but is then released in the pilot episode by our young heroes, Robin and Kid Flash and all them. And he's kind of like an emo version of Superman because of how he was created. He's grown to like a teenage state, but he will never age past being a teenager. And he's got a chip on his shoulder from being, you know, being this clone of Superman. And Superman at first is kind of weird about him because he doesn't know how to, you know, react to him.
Yeah.
And so he's just got this sort of anger management problem, but he's such an interesting character just because of his background and everything. And then you've got Miss Martian, the niece of Martian Manhunter. You've got Robin, Dick Grayson. Of course, you got Aqualad, a character that was created for this show, Kal Duram, an original character who's, you know, Aquaman's protege at first. And all these great characters. And it's such a well-written show. I think if you're interested in learning more about DC lore in general, it's a great show to get into. It's very bingeable. And let me tell you about the run. So it had 2 seasons, got canceled for a long time, became a cult hit after it was canceled on streaming and things like that. People were just like, oh, we want more. There was a sort of vocal contingent of a fan campaign to get it uncanceled. Eventually, after several years, it was uncanceled for a 3rd season and then a 4th season. Lower budget, so a lot of times they had to cut corners on animation where it's like a still frame where you can't see anyone's mouth, but you know people are talking and things like that, because they just had no budget. Like DC never really gave them the budget they need, but because it doesn't generate toy sales once again. And it's currently in limbo its status after the 4th season. Not officially canceled, not officially confirmed for a 5th season. James Gunn, if you're listening to this, please renew a 5th season. It needs one more season. Yeah. Just wrap things up. Come on, one more season.
Like you said, the original premise of like, well, the heroes can't do this. We need to step in. And we kind of need to challenge the idea of maybe our mentors are a little messed up. To in season 4, it's like, well, we all know the new gods of apocalypse are kind of on the spectrum. And if you use it as a metaphor for how we're on the spectrum, you're like, well, it's like, what do you even like? This is fascinating, but like it's you've gone so large and obtuse, like it's insane.
Yeah. And that's why I think season 1 is the best. Like that season is so good. Season 2,
season 2
wild.
Is the best for me. It's so it grows in such a way that you're like, wow.
The other thing is it makes wild dramatic swings where there'll be huge time jumps. There's a 5-year time jump between season 1 and season 2 where like crazy things happened off screen. Like people died, people turned evil potentially. So you're like, wait, I'm just catching up. Wait, what happened? This person died?
Every episode ends on a cliffhanger. It's like, Jesus Christ.
And there's some criticism people make too, but when they brought it back for the 3rd season, the 3rd season wasn't as good. They started focusing on characters that I do not give a shit about, like Halo, Geoforce, Forager. It got into, again, it gets into the DC lore of the new gods, Apocalypse, New Genesis, all this stuff that was created in the 70s by Jack Kirby and stuff. So it's like Jack Kirby like doing, psychedelic drugs and being like, what if there's all these a planet full of new gods and then there's apocalypse and dark side and all this stuff.
I'm swapping babies right now.
Yeah. So it gets a little crazy, and it focuses on these new characters that I'm like, just focus on the original team. And then I think they did kind of listen to some of the criticism for season 4, because season 4 gets back to the original cast, and that one is interesting because they have these multi-episode arcs featuring each of the main characters. So the way it's structured is very interesting.
Yes, I love that season.
Yeah, it's a little hit or miss for me. I'm in the middle of the 4th season now, and it's like, it starts with a Martian wedding arc with Miss Martian and Superboy, who end up as a relationship couple and stuff, and over the years and eventually get married in season 4. And that arc was like very boring to me, but then it's immediately followed by an Artemis arc, which is like incredible and some of the best stuff. I didn't mention Artemis, my favorite character.
You're a bow guy.
I am a bow. So Artemis is a protege of Green Arrow. She's a bow girl, and she's the daughter of 2 supervillains, and her whole family is basically bad guys. But she chooses the right path to become a hero. But she's very conflicted. She has this relationship with her sister that's very conflicted. Her father, all this stuff. Her father is Sportsmaster, who's a sports-themed villain. Yeah.
Imagine, man.
Oh man, Taskmaster.
Imagine you gotta tell people your dad's Sportsmaster.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because it's a mixture of like street level stuff and like cool action scenes, and then like crazy cosmic stuff.
Yeah.
But the Artemis stuff is so good, and I also had a big crush on Artemis when I was younger, where I was like, this girl is amazing. I love her. So she's my favorite character.
She's got it all.
She ends up with Wally West, Kid Flash, and so I don't want to talk too much about it, but Young Justice, incredible show. Everyone should watch it if you're at all interested in DC. Anything.
You should swap to the live action and finally do Stargirl, dude. Because one, that has Artemis as a character, and 2, it's as campy and cartoony and fun as Gunn's Superman, but has the world building of a Young Justice.
Yeah. Maybe I will. Yeah. I just love how it starts to integrate more and more characters, Blue Beetle, Beast Boy, and the world just gets so large where there's like probably like 50 different like speaking role characters at one point that you have to keep track of and stuff. Wow. And it's adding in all this stuff that I've seen in other, storylines and stuff like Terra, Terra Markov and all this stuff with Deathstroke that's covered in like the Judas Pact and all this stuff. And again, former host of the show, Joe, we were talking the other day. He mentioned independently of me that he started rewatching Justice League or Young Justice. I'm like, dog, guess what? I'm also rewatching Young Justice because it was a show that Joe and Colin and I bonded over back in 2011 when it first came out. They're like, you got to check out this show.
Nice.
So check it out if you want to be the DC kid like me and learn more about DC comic lore. I think it's a great entry point. Because it kind of weaves all that stuff together. It has the world building of like the MCU, but in a cartoon show. It's pretty great.
Nice.
So yeah,
that's if you want to be the DC kid, you got to get all in there.
That's right.
Any other TV? I have 2 movies, but I don't know. I figure I could just save that if there's any.
Oh, go crazy.
Yeah, so basically, I went to 2 movies recently. I went with a group of friends to watch Together, and then I went with my brother to watch Honey Don't. I want to start with Honey Don't.
Honey Don't.
Neither of you guys have seen this, right?
I've never seen it. I know about it. Obviously, Ethan Coen, the Coen brothers, have broken up creatively in that they're not directing movies together anymore. They're doing their own separate things. Joel Coen did The Tragedy of Macbeth with Denzel Washington, and Ethan Coen seems to be doing these lesbian exploitation films now. He did Drive Away Dolls and now Honey Don't.
Yeah, so I had not known. It's like the Ty West horror thing, but for lesbian B movies. So I guess there's supposed to be a third one. I had never seen Drive Away Dolls. We were just looking at what was available. I saw some of the trailers. I was like, yeah, let's give this a whirl. I will say Margaret Qualley in this as, what's her character's name? Honey O'Donoghue. Honey O'Donoghue.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
feel
don't.
like
It's like a PI.
she's a PI. Yeah, there's somebody
The
dies. There's
gumshoe.
gumshoe. It's a lesbian noir is basically what people are calling it.
Yeah.
It's got Aubrey Plaza, and I enjoyed it, but it's really messy, and so I feel like Honey O'Donoghue is a great character in a bad movie. But I want more Honey O'Donoghue, like um, Benoit Blanc. Like I really liked
Right,
her
bring her
performance
back.
in this movie. I
Yeah.
really liked Aubrey Plaza. It's just
Really?
structurally, it's
Got
kind
a
of
crazy
a mess.
Chris Evans part, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's just kind of the
Chris Evans playing this
plot is
sort of
messy.
But see,
He's
I
like
think
a pastor that's
character.
exploiting people. Yeah,
yeah.
but Margaret Qualley and Chris Evans were in Drive Away Dolls as well.
interesting.
Yeah, so he's using a lot of the same cast members, but she doesn't play Honey in Drive Away Doll. She plays a different
Right,
character.
it's like
I
Mia
believe.
Goth and
Is
Maxine and stuff.
she
Yeah.
the star of the third one?
They said
I don't know.
contractually she has to be. I don't. They haven't really announced it yet, but
Okay.
it was fascinating. But it's kind of messy plot wise. But I liked the
Okay.
performances at least, so I wanted to mention that. But together, my goodness, Alison Brie, Dave Franco,
Dave Franco.
what a crazy movie. My letterbox review is I absolutely loved it, and I never want to see it again because it was
Right.
such a hard watch about codependent
Okay.
relationships, and they did such a great job with it.
Yeah.
So I really recommend
Real
Together.
life couple, of course.
Yes.
Alison Brie, Dave Franco, married in real life. I haven't seen it, but I've heard things about it. Of course, there's this whole plagiarism allegations, which they deny, of course, but apparently someone claims that it's based on a short story or something that they wrote previously. So I don't know if that's true or not. I'm going to say that's probably not true, but I don't know the details.
I haven't heard anything about that yet, but just specifically the way that they're doing a horror movie about codependent relationships, and even before supernatural stuff is happening, you're just like, I wish that neither of you would ever be in the same room together. Like, this is so toxic,
Yeah.
and there's so much tension built out of just stop talking to them. Like you should break up with that person, and just that kind of, we've all
Right.
known people like that where it's like, you should not be together, and the whole movie just stretches that out. It's a hard watch, but it's expertly done in the performances because they are
Got
a
some
real
body
couple.
horror
Yeah,
elements to it.
they're really
I watched
going
it.
for it.
I can't do body horror, so I did not like this film, which means it is very successful because it was quite disgusting.
Yeah.
You're not a body horror.
no.
You've never been a body horror guy.
No, I don't
Me
like
neither.
Cronenberg. I don't like any of that stuff.
I'm a
And
big
I will
Cronenberg
say
fan.
The
Yeah.
final thing, Mike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, and I don't do body horror either, so maybe that's why it was like
Thumbs
I was
up.
so uncomfortable the whole time almost. But
Yep.
that means they did a
Okay.
good job.
Yep.
I actually do body horror. I'm a body horror fan, so I need to check it out, I guess. I'm a Cronenberg fan. The Substance. How did you feel about The Substance, Colin?
See, I didn't see that either.
I'm also scared of needles, so that one I was like, this all needs to just be put away.
Yeah. No, that's one I need to check out because I do like. I like body horror. I like Cronenberg. Cronenberg's made a lot of good movies.
Yeah, Alison Brie and Dave Franco, especially Dave Franco, he is going for it in this movie.
Yeah.
He's great. Yeah.
I do think it's so interesting that their whole public persona now is like they've been married. They've been together 13 years. I saw an interview with them, Allison and Dave, and it's so interesting to me that his brother is like such a creep with all these like stuff, James, and then Dave Franco has just been in a monogamous relationship for 13 years. It's like the difference between these two brothers is so strange.
They make so many movies together. We've had such a good year with Dave Franco. We all love the studio. Like I'm real high on him right now. He keeps saying in every interview, "Yeah, I'd love to play Luigi Mangione." I get so many calls about it.
Yeah,
we love him. We love Dave.
Right. Yeah.
That's
and
funny.
Alison Brie, I've always liked her since Community.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think it's an excellent movie. It's just hard for me to watch because of subject matter and body horror. But it's
That's one I wanted to check out. I can
Mhm.
I have the stomach for body horror. I can take anything really. So that's one I'll have to
Yes,
watch.
circle back.
Will you see Honey Don't, Jacob?
Honey Don't, probably when it comes on streaming.
Yeah, don't rush to the theater.
I'm
Honey-
not even
Honey
sure that-
Don't
I miss
rush
Drive Away
me.
Dolls. I don't really like
Yeah.
the Coen Brothers split up stuff, and I like the Coen Brothers.
I think
Also, I liked maybe I'm more into Joel Cohen because I liked The Tragedy of Macbeth.
I didn't like it that much. Honestly.
You didn't like it?
No.
There definitely
Very
are...
interesting visual, the way they shot it and everything.
I like
Very cool.
Polanski's Macbeth.
They're definitely less powerful separated. I think Love Lies Bleeding is a much more... It's a much better lesbian crime thriller kind of thing. Caper.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting to look at what they've done independently and you see, oh, that's what each of them is kind of bringing to their partnership, like their older movies together. Because I went on a bit of a Coen Brothers kick recently, watched some of their older stuff, Raising Arizona, Miller's Crossing, Hudsucker Proxy, and also Blank Check, a podcast that Colin and I like a lot. I've been doing the Coen Brothers, so I've been kind of watching along with those because I love the Coen Brothers. Had an incredible run from like the late 80s through the 2000s.
Pause right there because I have to ask us as three white dudes in our 30s, where do you guys land on Big Lebowski? Are you guys Big Lebowski heads?
Okay, this is what I say about Big Lebowski, which I did. Yeah, I like it. It was a movie that unfortunately was quoted to me so much when I was younger. Like it was so ubiquitous where people would quote it all the time that it became overplayed to me, where I was like, I get it, you like the Big Lebowski, but it does hold up. I mean, if you rewatch it, it's a very funny movie. But it's just it was a little overquoted to me when I was younger, so I kind of have a bad
kind of guy. Yeah.
Right. It's the proto Napoleon Dynamite became that later.
Yes.
Where it got ruined because it got overquoted. Right. Yeah.
Or even something like Superbad or Talladega Nights or something. Some of those 2000 comedies where they just get too quoted.
Anchorman, Step Brothers, a huge case. Any of those films. Yeah. Real quick, in college, Jacob and I lived next to a Myers, which is like a convenience store. This one was 24/7, and it was within walking distance if you lived on the dorms. So my roommate and I walked over there one time really late at night, and he was just looking around at stuff, and he goes, "Oh, I Love You, Man, the Jason Segel movie. I love this movie, dude. I'm going to buy this. This just came out. It's on Blu-ray." I was like, "Oh, that's cool. That's cool. We'll watch that."
That is a fun movie.
Awesome. That's great. I love that movie a lot. We got in line, and this really old guy with a Vietnam vet hat on said, "Oh, you kids buying that movie?" And he said, "Yeah, this is the funniest movie that ever existed." This is what my roommate Tyler said. And the guy goes, "I'm going to have to stop you right there, son. That's actually, that title belongs to The Big Lebowski." And he started to say all these quotes about it. I remember even then being like, dude, like, fucking come on. Like you know better than to do this.
No. I mean, I feel like we all knew someone who thought they were the dude and kind of based their whole personality.
This guy knew he was Walter. Like he had the Vietnam hat on. Like it was over for him.
We had that guy that, wore a bathrobe all the time, drank White Russians, just living the dude lifestyle, which isn't a bad lifestyle to live. No. I like Raising Arizona. I think that's maybe their funniest movie.
Jacob and I went to college with a guy, let's call him the dude, we won't say his real name right now, who slept on people's couches and just moved around party to party, who definitely thought he was the dude, right?
The grifter.
Yes.
Yeah, his life was a grift. He was just going from one grift to the next one.
To the point where then at parties you'd be like, your sister's here? You're inviting people to the party?
Yeah.
Like you're not even throwing this party.
Right.
And maybe call him, let's say his last name was Griftus.
Yeah, I believe his name was the Grifter.
Yeah. But Coen Brothers, one of the greats.
No Country for Old Men is like one of the best movies ever made.
Absolutely.
Like, are we kidding?
True Grit, one of my favorites.
In college, yeah.
Haley Steinfeld's breakthrough, like first role.
I love True Grit so much. It's even one that I think is underrated in their filmography. It's just a great Jeff Bridges part and incredible writing. I mean, they always have good writing and stuff.
When they're working together. When they're working together.
Yeah. Sure. They might get back together at some point. It's like the Safdie bros.
If Oasis did, anybody can. Yeah. Anybody can read it.
I saw the craziest Safdie Brothers trailer.
Yeah, so the Safdie bros also split, and you have Josh Safdie, who's making Marty Supreme with
What did I say? I saw it for
Timothée
weapons.
Chalamet.
It was
Oh,
so.
yeah.
I said that weapons, and I was like, "What is happening?"
So they both have a movie and a sports movie coming out. So Josh Safdie has what I just said, Marty Supreme with Timothée Chalamet,
Mhm.
and the other Safdie, Benny Safdie, has The Smashing Machine with Dwayne The Rock Johnson playing a real
boy.
character who was an MMA fighter that was nicknamed The Smashing Machine.
Playing a real character. You said,
Yeah,
This is his the
Playing a real
wrestler.
guy.
He's going
Character.
for it. Yeah.
and it's The Rock's attempt at like, give me an Oscar, please.
Yeah.
I'm The Rock. I deserve
Aren't
an
I in
Oscar.
movies still technically?
So let's see if they can do it. They did it for Adam Sandler, even though he got snubbed by the Oscars. Shouldn't have been for Uncut Gems, but
Yeah.
maybe they can do an Uncut Gems with The Rock. But yeah, so those are both coming out this fall or winter, so that'll be interesting to see. Marty Supreme is about a table tennis, a ping pong player played by Timothée Chalamet, so that'll be really interesting to see.
Interesting.
And let me mention one movie that I saw recently that I want to shout out.
Mm-hmm.
So I mentioned to you guys, obviously a big thing is Pedro Pascal right now. Maybe you've heard of him.
Also in Runaway Dolls. He's around. I've heard of
Right.
him.
Yeah.
Is he
He's
really in
in a
Runaway
lot of
Dolls?
stuff.
I
Yeah, he
saw
has
it
like a
on the wiki.
cameo.
Oh, wow.
And the big narrative around him is like, oh, he's in everything now. Hollywood loves casting this
Talked
guy.
about this on Weapons, yeah.
Yeah. He was in The Materialists. He was in Eddington. He was in The Fantastic Four. And I was like, okay, maybe that's a little overblown. And then I turned on HBO Max. I thought, oh, what's new movies that are available on streaming? I saw this one called Freaky Tales. And the image was just of Pedro Pascal. And I was like, what is this movie that I've never heard about with Pedro Pascal? And this is a movie that was shot in 2024, but wasn't wide released until this year. It was at Sundance, I think, in 2024. This is called Freaky Tales. And this was directed by Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck, directors of Captain Marvel, the last movie they made, actually. So they've been sort of on.
I kind of know them more as the directors of It's Kind of a Funny Story, but yes,
It's
go
kind
ahead,
of a funny
Jacob.
story, which is a movie that our friend Cole liked a lot and would make us watch in college a lot.
One summer played it 100 times, let's say.
Yeah. I'm also a big fan of one of their first movies, Half Nelson, with Ryan Gosling, where he plays a inner city teacher who's addicted to heroin. Really good movie.
Mississippi Grind.
Yeah, so they've done a few. Of course, Captain Marvel, which a movie that made $1 billion, which by today's standards would be amazing for a Marvel movie to make that.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, Captain Marvel made $1 billion. But Anna Fleck and Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck. This is their first movie since Captain Marvel, which came out like 5 years ago. And it's called Freaky Tales. Now, what is this movie about? Let me explain. I would call this movie an 80s punk rock Pulp Fiction meets Scott Pilgrim. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's a Pulp Fiction like movie where it cuts between different perspectives that kind of interweave together. Yeah, it's sort of an anthology where it's telling different stories, but the characters interweave and come in and out of the story. It's very homage-y. It's very style over substance, but in a fun way. It's just a blast if you like John Carpenter movies, if you like Tarantino movies. It's very homage to all of that. It's very punk rock. There's a whole...
I've never heard of those.
Yeah, I hadn't either until I saw it on HBO. I was like, what is this Freaky Tales? And I put it on. It's a lot of fun. It's not the greatest movie of the year, but it's very homage. It's very nostalgia based. Is
Pedro good?
Pedro, his section is the best part. But he doesn't show up until about 40 minutes into the movie.
Oh.
Because again, it's an ensemble. It's like Pulp Fiction.
Nice.
So there's 4 stories. He's in the 3rd story. So he does not show up until the second half of the movie. The first 2, it starts a little bit slower. It picks up steam in the second half, and then it gets really good. And and it's Pulp Fiction meets Kill Bill meets Scott Pilgrim meets Stranger Things is the best way I can describe it. So if any of that sounds interesting, give it a try.
Wow.
I liked it. I thought it was a blast. It's
Good
something that
rap.
I think our friend Joe would like a lot. It's kind of right up his alley. The first segment is all about punk rockers fighting Nazis.
Hell yeah.
Actually, most of the movie is about fighting Nazis. And the first section stars Jack Champion, aka Spider from Avatar, our
yes,
guy,
yeah. Our boy.
Okay.
our boy.
Okay.
Our boy from Scream.
Yeah.
Ah.
So, anyways, yeah, it has a great ensemble cast. It has Dominique Thorne from Ironheart is in it. Some other
Mm.
people.
Yeah, you're not selling me that hard.
It's fun. It's not the greatest movie I've ever seen. It's
Okay.
derivative. It's style over substance, but it's a blast if you like 80s movies, if you like punk rock, if you like any of that stuff. If that's in your wheelhouse, then you'll enjoy this movie.
It's good. I liked it a lot. It's not good.
It's not. It's fun. It's not a great movie, but I had a blast watching it.
Well, it sounds like they
At the
did
end,
a
it's
better
like-
job of making.
Sorry,
I'm
go ahead.
saying, yeah, I think they just, if the way you're describing it, seems like they did a better job of making like a B movie homage than Honey Don't did. They were attempting to do something
Absolutely.
like that, but didn't quite
Yeah,
nail it.
but it is interesting to take $1 billion blank check you get and go something that's Shutter quality. You're like, oh,
What do you mean by that?
like the channel Shutter.
Oh, yeah, I think it's got good production value and stuff. Like I think
Yeah.
it's
And a big cast, obviously. But
yeah. Pedro's the biggest name. It's got Ben Mendelsohn. It's got some other people, but it's not like a huge star-studded cast. But it's got a lot of people that are
I
like,
gotta
I know
come
that
back to
person
you.
from that one
you
thing.
cast me as Talos, the great scroll actor.
Yeah, it's got the
Wow.
main character from It's kind of a funny story is in a small part.
I don't like that kid. So
Well,
that's cool.
yeah, give it a try. I think again, it's one that I want to recommend to Joe when I get next chance I get to talk to him because I think he would
Yeah.
absolutely love it.
Mhm.
Again, it's not a perfect movie, but it's a blast. So check it out.
Is it something Cole would watch 100 times in a row?
It's one I want to recommend to Cole as well because
There we go.
again, the punk rock element. He's a big punk rock fan, and it's punk rockers fighting Nazis. I mean, what
Yeah.
more could you want from that premise?
No, that's
cool.
great. I'm
So-
perfectly happy with that.
Check it out. It's on HBO Max. It's streaming, and
Nice.
that's what I got for you.
Movies I'm excited for, speaking of punk rockers killing Nazis, Green Room. We've got
Yes.
the
Nice.
Toxic Avenger coming out.
Peter Dinklage.
But Macon Blair.
Yeah. And but Peter Dinklage is the Toxic Avenger.
Can't wait.
I was thought,
Makeup
I thought
looks
you were gonna,
great. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, going
Go
back to Trauma. When you were talking about punk rockers, I thought you were going to talk about Caught Stealing. I'm looking forward to that.
Caught Stealing, another one. That's Darren Aronofsky and
Mhm.
Austin Butler, Zoe Kravitz, Matt Smith, Doctor
Yeah.
Who, if you will, with a crazy punk rock mohawk.
Yep.
Yeah, that looks like a lot of fun.
Yep. So we'll see. Anything else to mention on what we've been watching? Are we ready to play?
No, I think we
this
can
thing
move
out?
into the gaming section of the podcast and what we've been playing.
Let's do it.
We're back. Here are Normies Like Us. That was a lot of what you watching. Now it's a lot of what you playing.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. I've been playing.
You've been playing. Kick us off, Jacob. What have you been playing?
We've been playing.
Well, of course, I've been sticking with the Marvel Rivals. Maybe we could do Marvel Rivals talk for a minute. And then I have one single player game that I've been playing. And I know, Mike, you have some single player that you've been playing.
Yeah, I fully abandoned Marvel Rivals for this season up to this point, but I'm curious what's going on over
Very
there.
sad to
Kind
me.
of the same. We should give the update that we've all kind of jumped ship except for Jacob.
Yeah, he's still
Except for
locked
me,
in.
I've been playing almost daily. I will log in, play at least a couple of games most days. And I should mention our former host Joe has not given up on Marvel Rivals. He plays a lot as well. He's kind of the only other friend that is playing regularly now. And it's sad, I'm trying to get my Normies friends back into it so we can play together. Colin and Joe and I have played a couple times, but you don't get on too often, Colin.
Mm-mm.
I've I've reformed from my gooning ways. I no longer need that game. You know.
No. Same. I'm clean
We're
now.
gonna get you back into it
Yep.
because I think it's a fun casual game that you can jump in. And I mean, what's addicting to me is the gameplay loop and the competition. To me, I'm a very competitive person. I like the
Grinding.
human versus human. One team will win, one team will lose, and it's up to you to determine which one that'll be. And it's a team game, you know. So I like the team. And sometimes you have shitty teammates and you lose the game and you get mad because you think I played great, I should have won the game. And the ranked grind really gets me. I am always trying to grind for a higher rank. I love just the competition of it and the place and the whole game loop of it. So
All right.
Yeah.
So
We talked, or we will talk in the future. Certainly not the past, but we talk.
No.
We have talked about about what our next episode is and gaming and our history with gaming and groups and online and that sort of addictive cycle. And I'm with you, Jacob. That is, I'm happy to have this game as my safety net for when I can play games, but I just don't have a lot of time these days.
That's totally understandable. And it is a more casual game where it's like you're not playing a campaign.
No.
You're not getting into a story. You're just jumping online for a couple games of casual Marvel Rivals. And I think the gameplay is varied enough because you can always play different characters and every character plays differently. So you're like, I want to play Blade. I mean, Blade is the newest character just released. Yeah, I'll
cool.
fuck around with Blade. He's awesome.
Fucking awesome. You're liking
Phoenix
a lot. She was the last one.
Yeah,
the second most recent character. So Phoenix and Blade are this season's new characters. Last season it was Emma Frost and Ultron. And then before that was the Fantastic Four. So those are all the new characters since release. But both this season, Phoenix and Blade, I like a lot, especially Phoenix. She's become like my go-to DPS character. She's like a better version of Hela.
Wow.
She's that long-range sniper. And I have a lot of fun with her. Mostly play her in quick play because I'm scared and ranked. I stick to supports and ranked most of the time.
I just feel.
Yeah. But I'm in the platinums. I'm grinding up. I'm trying to hit diamond before the end of the season. I've been diamond before. I'm around platinum diamond level. Joe's been playing ranked. Joe's in gold, I think. So he's happy to get to gold. I'm kind of like the best Marvel Rivals player of all our friends. So not to brag too much, but no, I get really into it and I try to improve, And Mike, you were good too when you were playing, but you're out of practice now.
I'm out of practice. I never got to platinum though. This guy. But no,
Mike, you used to be good, Mike. What the fuck happened?
Hey man, you
He's trying
changed.
to get me back on. He's trying to use insult to get me to be like, you know what? I need to grind. Yeah.
No, I understand.
I like to think I can handle myself.
You get new gaming
Serious.
obsessions. You get new gaming obsessions. You go away from Marvel Rivals, but I'm trying to get you to jump back in on a casual level at some point. So we'll see.
You would always tell me it's okay to play other games when I would get locked in on something else. And
you get fixated on one thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to change it up. One day I'll play my single player game. One day I'll play Marvel Rivals, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So.
I've been switching it up. We did some Dark Tide, the Warhammer. That was like we do that with Adam. I don't need to go crazy.
Yeah.
We're just killing
I don't think
mobs.
we mentioned that on the podcast yet, but yeah, we were playing, you and me and Adam were playing Warhammer 40K Dark Tide and Vermintide a little bit.
A little bit of Vermintide as well.
Which are horde shooters, basically. And you we were really into Dark Tide for a minute. You and Adam even more than me, because I get stressed out because there's so many things coming at you. It's just like constant
There's
action.
a lot happening.
It gets a little
I like
stressful.
that world. See, I can live there. That's good.
Yeah, I just got my shit shovel and I.
You played an Ogren, which is a big guy you have a shovel and some kind of big gun or something.
Shovel and a big gun, and I just run around. But I maxed out my character, and then at that point, I kind of lost incentive to jump into Dark Tide, so I've been doing single player.
Yeah,
mostly. It's
kind of like procedural, or it's run. You go on runs, and they can last up to like 45 minutes or whatever. It seems sometimes.
They're long.
Yeah, and sometimes you die right before the end of the run, and you're like, "Damn, all that for nothing." Feels like I wasted my time.
Yeah, what a feeling.
Yeah, 40 minutes gone.
But it's Helldivers-esque, right?
Adjacent.
Or Left 4 Dead-esque. Sure.
Yeah. Like we will say in the future, horde shooters. Yeah.
Yes.
But
we definitely have not talked about that. yet.
No. And I want to shout out, we play with Adam. Adam got me a copy of Ultra Kill, which is like a shooter from New Blood. It is really good, but it is really difficult.
Yeah.
It's like the Dark Souls of boomer shooters. So I'm trying to work through that. But my
Wow.
main thing has been 2077 started another playthrough because
Cyberpunk.
yes, our current capitalist dystopia is not enough to sustain me. I need to do a digital one too. So I replayed that, but now I have a bunch of realism mods where I need to eat food, I need to drink stuff, I need to go to bed. Yeah, so I have like realism mods. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I've
I
done
eat my big burritos.
Unplug. Get out of the Matrix. You're real, Mike. I promise.
No, I love
am
that.
Am I?
You're on Mars.
is
Take the pill.
Cyberpunk's such an interesting game because, of course, it was controversial on release because it was so buggy, and people are like, "Oh, this was not released in a finished state." But like No Man's Sky and some other games, like they improved it so much since release that it's now an entirely different game, especially after some of the major patches and then the DLC. And like you said, you're doing this heavily modded run through now.
I've heard this real quick, Jacob. I've heard that the Switch 2 version turns it into a microwave. Like it gets.
Oh, sure.
I believe it.
Yeah. Even on Switch 2, not even Switch 1.
Oh man.
Yeah, I've done that for Skyrim, where I modded the shit out of Skyrim, did it the immersive playthrough where you have to eat for hunger and sleep and all this stuff. And I think it's fun to do that for sure sometimes.
Skyrim. Will we ever talk about Skyrim?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, possibly in a future episode.
But yeah, I put a bunch of graphic mods on there, the realism. They added a bunch of idle animations so I could just post up and have a SIG while I'm talking to NPCs, and I'm just like, hell yeah. You know?
Mike.
That's awesome.
It's very silly.
Do you still have the I want to stay in your house mod playing?
Yes,
play that in your radio at all times.
Well, now you have. I 100% do. It's called Radio David. I modded in my own radio station. It's 69.9 on the dial. And now you have a pocket radio, so you can walk around with it in your headphones, and that's very funny to be killing gangsters with that playing in the back.
It's all for you, David Martinez.
It's all for you, David.
Bang, bang, bang.
It's incredible, yeah.
He's going cyber cycle. He's cutting my head off.
It's 100%.
If you really want to do, if you want to do a David Martinez playthrough, you need the what's that thing called? The Sandevistan. Yeah, just go full Sandevistan. Like
I respect. That was the last time I played. I respect after we did our episode to do a Sandevistan play, and it was awesome.
That's sick. I did my first playthrough. I did a lot of hacking. I had a crazy cyber deck. So this playthrough, I'm doing no hacking, and I'm just doing the guns and the melee and sliding around in slow motion. It's a way different play style. I got a katana now. So I'm doing a different style than my first playthrough, which has been fun.
Fuck yeah, dog.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love Cyberpunk. Great game. For me, my single player game lately, when I'm not Marvel rivaling, I've been playing a little game called, well, first of all, there's a game called Death Stranding 2 on the beach that came out recently, which of course means I got Death Stranding 1 on Steam sale for $15. I said, you know what? I think it's time to play the first one now that the second one's out. So I've been playing Death Stranding.
This is what I need. You're my play tester right now, because I've always had my eyes on this game and heard so much good stuff, but never gotten to it. And if you engage with this, then I'll be like, oh, okay.
It's a fascinating game. I don't think it's for everyone.
No.
Because it is different. I mean, it's only a mad genius like Kojima could make such a game where the main gameplay loop is delivering packages. You know, you're not doing combat. There's a little bit of combat, there's a little bit of stealth, but it's mostly walking around a barren post-apocalyptic landscape, beautiful mountains and things, and you're Norman Reedus in the future, and you're delivering packages, and that's what the game is.
The first ever Strand type game, as it's been billed.
Right. There's BTs, beached things, which are these demons that try to come after you in a very scary way. Beached things, because when you die, you go to this place called the beach, Colin. I don't know if you know that.
That's what the titular the beach is.
On the beach, yeah. And your mom, who's maybe your sister, is there, and there's a little baby in a pod.
Oh,
So there's a lot going
Kojima,
on,
yeah.
but
my
of course,
mom's sister's in heaven.
yeah,
Sister
Guillermo
Moms,
del
it's a new
Toro's
TLC
there.
show.
Yeah.
Oh no!
But Kojima, from the mind of Kojima himself, I mean, it's a game where there will be, you'll deliver a package and then you'll click a thing and then there'll be a 15-minute cutscene where you're just watching Norman Reedus talk to Leia Sadu for 15 minutes, and you're like, okay,
Don't you understand? The strands are dead. You're like, this is good. I like all this.
Because of course Hideo Kojima, he makes games. He makes games that are movies because he always obviously wanted to make movies, but he makes games, but he makes them in an interesting way because what's brilliant about this game is the dynamic of it's a shared online world. It's similar to Dark Souls in where you can leave messages for people in Dark Souls and things like that.
Yeah.
It's a shared online world where you never run into anyone. You don't see people in the world, but certain things persist from your world to other worlds. So for instance, you can build a bridge if you have enough materials across a river, and then people will like that bridge and they will give it thumbs ups, which is sort of a social currency in this game. And if it gets enough likes, it shows up in more people's worlds, and then they can use that bridge. So you're slowly improving the world around you for other people. And it's all in the spirit of cooperation and all this stuff. And it's a fascinating kind of game. Yeah.
No, I've been intrigued by it too. I might have to check it out at some point because it's such an elusive concept, but yeah.
It's obviously when Kojima announced after leaving what's
Konami.
it called, Konami leaving
Konami.
Metal Gear behind and saying my next big thing will be Death Stranding. People had no idea what that was. He released a trailer. People were like, what is this game? What is happening? But yeah, it's a post-apocalyptic world where you're Norman Reedus. And it's a thing in Japan where they have these. It's a traditional thing where you have people that carry packages on their back and they go into remote places to deliver these packages and things. There's a term for it that I forget.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, and then there was that thing where Kojima, he had that pangolin farm. Do you remember that? And he had all those bats that he was taking care of. Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, and then he released this thing called the novel coronavirus, that we would all live in our own post-apocalyptic package-based world. And it came at such an interesting time.
It did really, because it's a game about how we're all isolated from each other, and you, as Norman Reedus, you're delivering packages and you're reconnecting the world by hooking them up to this futuristic internet that, of course, exists, that you can basically print things out of metal and stuff, kind of like a replicator in Star Trek, but only if you're hooked up to this internet. So you're going to these various isolated settlements and hooking them up to like the main grid of the world, and you're reconnecting America. You're bringing America
turning
together.
The internet on is the point of this game.
Delivering packages and turning the internet on.
Hey, did y'all get that internet? See you later.
Yeah.
Nice.
You're drinking Monster Energy drink. You go back to your quarters and you can take a shower, and while you're showering it plays ads from Norman Reedus's motorcycle show. Just a truly fascinating game from the mind of it's an auteur game, right? Kojima is an auteur of video games, not to say there aren't many talented people working on these games, of course, but it's the vision of this one man who is an insane genius.
It's an autistic game.
But I really love it. It's a peaceful game. It's you're mapping out your trajectory. Oh, I got to climb up these rocks. I'm going to need a ladder. Or I'm going to need a rope. And you got to plan this out. So you got to plan your route. You can run into obstacles on the way, and then you deliver it, and then you feel like you accomplished something. So sometimes I just sit back, I vibe. I walk around as Norman Reedus, and that's Death Stranding.
Drink some Monster Energy, right?
Yeah, Monster Energy drinks. Although I'm playing the director's cut version, which has all the extra stuff, and they had to remove Monster for some kind of licensing reason. So now it's just like Bridges Energy Drink, which is like the company you work for.
I don't like that as much
Sam
as
Porter
Norman Reedus
Bridges.
only drinking Monster. Sam Porter
No.
Bridge only drinking Monster.
But it was for licensing reasons or something.
Throw it
They
away.
couldn't get the licensing.
Throw the game away.
Modding that.
Yeah.
All right.
But of course now there's Death Stranding 2. But what's great about this game too is that he just puts real actors, he motion caps real actors and puts them in the game, like Leia Sadu, like I mentioned, Margaret Qualley, Honey Don't, Mads Mikkelsen, and then he puts directors that he just likes in the game, like Guillermo del Toro, Nicholas Winding Refn, George Miller in the second
George
one.
Miller. Conan O'Brien.
So it's just he loves all things pop culture, and whatever he likes, he puts in his games. And he's a fascinating individual to me. So I'm enjoying it.
Nice. Yeah, I do want to check it out at some point. And those guys are called Boca Porters. They got backpacks that take stuff up to remote mountain villages where there's no roads, and they just got to hike it up there.
Yeah, and that's a big part of the gameplay is you can't load too much on because then you lose your balance. You start to get tired more easily, but you can have, you can basically give yourself like machine brace legs to make yourself stronger. And then you have to keep your balance. And sometimes, if you're climbing up a rock, you don't want you stack your packages too high because then it'll be hard to move. So you got to think about all
Thrilling.
that.
Riveting.
Absolutely thrilling. Yeah.
The walking sim. And Colin, you've been playing anything lately then? We haven't asked yet.
I'm kind of in a very happy spot right now. I've got 2 retro platformers that I'm excited for. Shout out to when this episode comes out, I'll be a week away on my brother's birthday, September 4th. We get the new Hollow Knight. We finally get Silk Song.
Ooh.
The meme comes to an end. If you guys are a fan of that game,
I'm
Never played
with the meme. I have it, Hollow Knight. I haven't booted it yet, so
I know what it is.
you would love it, Mike. It's considered the Dark Souls of tiny little hand-drawn platformer games. So
I love the art style in it. Yeah, I'm familiar with it. I just have to jump in. Yeah, it seems
gorgeous.
great.
Little bugs doing little bug things. Yeah,
I like it.
Other than that, the actual game that I'm playing right now, shout out to in 2025 when I purchased a Game Boy Advance game, a newly released Game Boy Advance game, Shantae Risky's Revolution, which is a new entry in the Shantae platformer series that I enjoy very much.
Yeah, I want to look that up. Whoa. So 2025 we got one.
Yeah, think about this. Shantae, if you're not familiar with it, the first game in the series came out for the Game Boy Color. It was the last video game released for the Game Boy. Like when the development cycle started, they should have been working on the Advance.
Right.
They didn't have a developer kit to push that hardware. By the time they got it out, they were truly Game Boy Advance games were already coming out. They were the last published Game Boy Color video game. And the creator, Matt Bozen, was devastated and was like, well, we'll start working on a Game Boy Advanced game. And then they lost funding. So this game never came out, even though it was featured in Nintendo Power, Game Informer, all these articles, all these things. So here we are, 15 years later. They finally got the funding together after releasing multiple other Shantae entries to go back and put the second video game out.
That's great. I'm seeing here that Limited Run worked with them to distribute. Limited Run, we love them for their game preservation stuff, especially for primarily a lot of games that are only available on digital. They'll produce physical copies, but that's cool that they stepped in to save this.
We love them for that. They are parasites in that they do these extremely limited run versions of the games that they're releasing, and it ends up in this overpriced market hell. Like I got this for my birthday, but it was paid for with a very hefty sum. Let me go ahead and point that out. Unfortunately,
it just sucks that the companies that produce these games are like, when things are digital only, they can just disappear. So it does suck that it can be expensive to acquire them, but the fact that work's getting done at all is still good. But yeah, scarcity market, it is a thing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I shared with you guys, my brother was at Comic-Con recently. Matt Bozen does booths with Limited Run there to promote this video game and did a bunch of comic book signings of the new Shantae comic that's out. He's a huge Transformers fan, so he has stayed in touch with my brother the past couple of years that they've gone. He always comes over to the booth and talks for a minute, and gave me a ton of signed and autographed swag, which
that's really cool.
I mean, I'm going to say this episode is brought to you by Shantae Risky's Revolution. Go out and buy that fucking game, guys, because this guy did me a real solid. So
Yeah, that's
That's
awesome.
sick. Nice, man. Well, is that what we've been playing? If we have anything else we want to mention, or we want to
That's
cop
what
our
we've been
final
playing.
thoughts?
Yeah, just I've been sticking with Marvel Rivals. I'm gonna get my friends back into it. I beg them every day via chat, text. I say, "Hey, I'm on Marvel Rivals right now. Someone please play with me." So my goal is to get Mike back into it, and we'll see next Whatcha if I can get him back
See
into
if I
it.
got back. I keep saying I'm going to get back into it, but then my partner Margaret Qualley says, "Honey, don't," and so I just don't. Yeah, but we'll see.
how about coming up? Because this is still technically a big year for video games. Game of the year everybody's talking about is that Claire Obscure Expedition
Kong.
33. Well,
I was gonna say Donkey Kong Bonanza, Colin, Game of the Year.
I don't know about that. I guess, do you guys just assume it'll be Grand Theft Auto? Like, is that what you're most excited
Well, that's not coming out
for?
till next year, so
Oh, okay.
that's delayed to 2026, but coming out fairly soon. But no, what I've heard is Donkey Kong Bonanza, rave reviews across the board. People are loving that game.
Great.
It's the first Donkey Kong game in a long time, and I'm surprised you haven't played it yet, Colin, because it's as the Nintendo guy.
I don't have $500 to drop on a Switch 2, my friend.
Is it only on Switch 2?
It is
Can't
only
get it
on
on Switch?
Switch 2. Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah. But no, I've heard really good things about that. Yeah, I've heard Claire Obscure Expedition 33, which is interesting. It's turn-based combat, but there's real-time elements where you have to parry and things like that. So people are like, this is changing the turn-based game forever. I'm like, yeah, but I still like traditional turn-based games.
No,
Persona did that. Yeah, I guess I don't want to hear it.
Well, my cousin,
I have not played
it.
that yet. Yeah.
Did he like it?
Yeah, he loves it. He's been saying Game of the Year, and he'll stream it when I'm playing Cyberpunk sometimes, and we'll hang out.
Yeah.
And the fact that 33 people made that game is insane to me when I see the scale of it.
Is that why it's called that?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
That's great.
So I think it
33.
deserves Game of the Year just by that. Like, it's a small studio, and just when you see it in action, it's the graphics. Like, it is pretty impressive that a small studio did that. So they're kind of my darling pick for Game of the Year.
Shout out to Pascaz Chris. He loves a JRPG, or I guess an FRPG in this instance.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like a westernized version of a JRPG.
A Frenchicized version.
It's French.
Yeah.
They got baguette swords. If you get high enough level, your sword's just a baguette.
I saw you
That's why I
find these
don't wanna
little
play it,
striped
'cause I hate the
mime outfits
Yes.
too. I saw which is very
Yeah,
cute.
the outfits are
Colin's
really
wearing
cute.
his mime shirt.
Mhm.
No, I think you're sleeping on Donkey Kong. Ooh,
I don't
banana.
I know that
People
I'm
are loving
looking
that.
forward. You might like it, but it's $500 to get the Switch is prohibitive. But I wanted to mention Silent Hill F is coming out in September.
Looks cool.
Spooky, set in Japan one. So I'll probably play
Hades
that.
2, one of these days it'll come
Hades
to
2.
non-computers and I'll get to play it.
There's nothing I'm too excited for coming out soon. I mean, obviously, Grand Theft Auto 6, I will play that when it drops. The Oblivion remaster, I might mention that next week, possibly. We'll find out.
Why would you talk about that?
But that's been out for a minute. But it's like it's a $40 game, so it's not a full priced game, which is nice.
I wonder if next week I'll act like I'm hearing about it for the first time. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I think you have amnesia, Colin.
Yeah, that would be weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but lately I've been thinking about getting back into a big game for me, either doing another Cyberpunk run in honor of Mike, or getting back into Baldur's Gate 3. One of those two games, both games that I've played, for hundreds of hours.
Baldur's Gate 3. That's so
you haven't.
crazy.
You've never touched it.
No.
That's game of the decade for me.
I wanted that. I wanted Alan Wake 2, and I wanted that. Those were going to be my two big PS5 games, but I have not gotten around to them.
Wait till it goes on sale and then pick it up sometime.
Those are Christmas pickups for me, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To me, one of the greatest games of all time, one of the greatest games of, again, game of the decade. I don't know if it's been surpassed. Wow. And so I'm going to get back into one of those big games, I think, and just lose myself in one of those two games soon.
Never did an evil playthrough on Baldur's Gate 3.
There's so many ways you can do, so many things you can do, different play styles and things, and it's just like D&D. You can create any character you want. If you want to do a magic based build, if you want to do a big brawler, if you want to do a stealth archer, whatever you want.
Hell yeah, classic.
Whatever you want.
All right.
So that's what you're playing. That's what you're watching. And should we maybe head over to what you final thinking?
What's your final thinking? Let's do it right after this.
We're back. We were watching. Now we're rapping.
Yeah,
Talking about wrapping up what we're doing. We said what all the future episodes coming up are. I like that. I always like having the heads up.
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of good TV coming out. And then we're getting into, of course, our favorite month of the year, Spooktober.
Boy,
once again, it's coming up quick.
We have some good selections. I still have to make my selection for that month, and then we'll do the Spooktacular as always. But I'm looking forward to that a lot.
I was sitting in bed the other day, and truly, I said in my mind, "Did Mike tell us what we were doing for Spooktober?" Because Jacob and I are locked in already. And I was like, "Wait, I can't remember what Mike's was." Now I'm nervous. I was like, no.
He's under pressure now because he has to think of something as iconic as our two picks.
A true classic.
It is difficult. So
he's feeling the pressure.
Yeah. You usually go foreigns. So that's kind of hard to navigate too sometimes.
That feels like, it might not be necessarily possible this year, but I definitely want to get something iconic because you guys are doing it's The Thing, and then Colin, Psycho, yeah, it's like two of the biggest ever.
It's our first. We're announcing them now for the first time on the podcast. Maybe
that's what you get for making it to the end of the Whatcha. You're welcome.
That's right.
I blew that.
No, that's fine. The Thing and Psycho, some classics, and yours could be anything. It could be more recent too. It doesn't have to be from 50 years ago.
I just want to compete with how good of picks that you guys have.
I hope it's fucking Killer Clowns. I hope it's something. I hope it's like the Ghoulies, and I'll be like,
Critters. Yeah, we'll see.
Fucking Frighteners. I know some of your favorites. I mean, there's a good chance.
Calling bad news. It's a David Cronenberg movie. It's body horror.
Oh, I just make us do body horror. Yeah. But I'm excited about all the new TV stuff that we're going to get to cover. Like we said, Strange New Worlds, Twisted Metal. Not for Jacob, but for me and Colin, that'll be fun.
Maybe I'll get sold on it as the season goes on. I want to like it more than I do so far. I'll say that. Yeah.
Fair. And it's like also Colin mentioning that Game Boy Advance game that didn't get released till 15 years later makes me like want to reminisce about like the golden age of gaming. So I don't know if we can talk about that sometime soon, but that would be fun too.
Right. And maybe we'll turn around in 360 degrees and we'll talk about something like that. We'll find out.
We need a special episode for that, but we don't have one of those coming up because this is the 359 Whatcha. This is our biggest episode of the month. And now the episode's almost over, but we are going to transition we are doing a special episode now. We're going to draft each other's Whatchas for next Whatcha. So we're doing a special Whatcha draft, right, guys?
That's right. It's going to take another 2 hours.
Yeah,
Buckle up.
It's easy to track. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm. We love drafting football players. We love drafting other stuff. We love drafting Whatchas. Draft Central over here.
Yeah.
That's right.
We should do a Marvel Rivals character draft. Which characters do you like playing the most in Marvel Rivals?
You just have to assemble a team configuration, 6 characters.
Yeah. You're telling me this is some type of goon squad?
Yeah. Let me tell you what I'm thinking.
Yep.
All gooners. Yeah, and of course we're still covering Miyazaki, our long form Miyazaki series. Right. We've got Porco Rosso coming up next. As far as Miyazaki's, we just talked about Kiki's Delivery Service, a classic. Favorite. Yeah.
Yep.
So
the first ever Strand type
well.
witch. She's just delivering stuff in the mountains.
Yeah. And we basically have our entire schedule planned out through the rest of the year. So get ready, Normies. It's going to be a great rest of the year. It's going to be a great fall and winter. Summer's almost over. It's okay. We're going back to school. Yeah.
And here's what you can do when you're out shopping, picking up your books and your pencils. You can go to at Normies_like_us and tell us what you are watching. You can email us there, find us there on all social media and say, I was following along. I liked when they mentioned King of the Hill, but why didn't he talk about the Beavis and Butthead Mike Judge as well. Watch that. I don't know anything about that world. That's why. That's your answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw one episode of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
If I can leave you with one thought, though, please watch Young Justice. It's a great show. And the
Please.
more people that watch it on streaming, the creator said this recently. People asking about, what's its status as
He
far
says
as
a
the
lot
fifth
of
season. Yeah, but basically said, we don't know, they haven't told us anything, but the best thing you can do for it is watch it on streaming. Watch it over and over. Put it on repeat, because the more people that watch it, maybe that's a sign that it'll get renewed. So,
He needs
and
to
James
finish
Gunn,
these Gargoyle comic books that he's promising me, so he can do that
Yeah.
first.
Right.
but James Gunn, again, I know you listen to this podcast, James.
He does.
Big fan.
Big fan.
Renew Young Justice season 5. Come on, we want it.
on.
Come
Come
on.
on.
It would make a lot of peace for the fan base, if he did that.
Yeah, I know it's
Could
not
be
part of the
sort of a peacemaker.
DCU, and you want everything to be connected, but come on,
You should watch that Green Lantern animated series I was pitching you on, Jacob, because
Yeah.
that ties into Young Justice and Batman the animated series, which is very
That might-
weird.
It might be something I have to check out for sure. Yeah,
All right.
but
259. We did it.
359.
359.
359. I
We've
keep
been your
saying 2
host.
because I can't believe
I
it.
know.
Yeah, anyway, we've been your
You
hosts.
did it earlier again after
Do you
we
think,
corrected it. My
Back to
mind.
back.
I think for episode 365, we should do a
Yeah.
draft of our favorite episodes of the show draft.
Oh,
Yes. Our favorite.
Draft
365, so we have one
5
episode
episodes
per
of
day.
Normies Like Us and a loser episode. What's your
Mm-hmm.
least favorite?
Yeah,
It would take us a year to do all those drafts probably for that one episode.
I told you guys 365 episodes and I'm done. Once I got one for every year, I'm out. So
That's it.
then
Then we
you
go
can
to
binge
Tuesday.
it and
right?
watch one
That.
episode a day for a straight year. Yep.
Yep.
that's right.
All right, normies.
right.
Well, we've been
Your
your
host.
normies.
We love
We've been
you.
your hosts.
I'm
Check
Colin.
us out on YouTube.
Yep. I'm Mike.
And I'm the DC kid, Jacob.
Pew
Oh,
pew.
yeah.
Pew pew.
Catch you next
Go
time.
get your
Normies.
DCs now. I'm the DC kid.
That's right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.